Let's get nasty on a Wednesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and joining us right now via the Thompson and Callagher phone lines from Canada. Oh, Canada is our guy, Jamie Rivers, following last night's victory over the Jets, and what an impressive victory it was. Jamie, your top takeaway from last night's win.
Are you not entertained?
Yes. Darn right we are.
No, my top takeaway from last night, apart from it just being a really fun game to watch, is just that this team, man, I'm not going to go crazy and talk about, like, Stanley Cup contender, because that's just way, way, way too far ahead.
Jamie,
but
these two did it yesterday. You're okay. Go ahead.
Who did?
These two. They said they were going to. Anthony and Marsh. They said they're going to win.
We did not say that.
No, you did.
Yesterday.
I wrote the times
we said
down.
It Monday.
I was about to
sorry.
say.
It was Monday.
Yeah, it wasn't yesterday.
They were dipping into the ayahuasca, were they?
Yeah, they get into it.
All right. Well, I will say this, though. Watching this team play the games that they have under Jim Montgomery, the one game that was not great was the Philadelphia game for obvious reasons. But watching Monty handle this team and watching the way these guys are playing, like that checking last night is some of the best checking I've seen in years from this Blues team. Like, very seldom did they end up caught in a bad situation. You know, the coaches always talk about playing above the puck, play above the puck. Well, what the hell does that mean? All it means is being between the puck and your own net so that you're able to defend. And last night, the Blues, on their back checking, they'd have one guy come back, challenge the puck. The next guy was there. The next guy was there. The defense were standing up. I mean, they gave up 3 shots only in the second period to the Winnipeg friggin' Jets, who I know they're not playing great right now, but guys, let's not forget, they did rattle off 15 frickin' wins in a row to start the season.
Right.
And, you know, Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele, they've been Blues killers their entire career. And they had a couple of opportunities. Obviously, Scheifele scores with the goal he pulled. Connor had a great opportunity, and Joel Hofer slammed the door shut in the first period on that one. But, guys, I'm watching a team right now that's becoming dangerous. And when you bring Leddy and Falk back to the lineup and Buchnevich, like, I'm telling you, man, this could be a third-place team in the Central Division. And I know that doesn't sound like, oh, wow, that's really not expiring for a lot there. No, look at the division. It's a damn good division. And if you're third place in this division in Central, that means you're a pretty good hockey club.
Yeah, I would say so. I thought that was a complete effort last night. That was my takeaway from Hofer in net, who made sensational save after sensational save. You know, he had the one blocker save, I think in the first period. He also had the one, Jamie, where you described where he, fires off his one leg to get to the other side to get another, I don't know if it was a blocker save or whatever the leg pad save is called, but he was sensational. And then you got Jordan Kyrou with the 2 goals. Robert Thomas sauces the one into the empty net. Dylan Holloway gets me on the board, huh?
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
The streak was snapped last night, guys. You. Yeah, thank you. I thought it was a complete effort. I thought there was no like, oh yeah, they kind of took the second period off and then they had to hold on for dear life in the third period. I thought they went toe-to-toe last night from a defensive standpoint, offensive standpoint, obviously from a goaltender standpoint. I mean, Joel Hofer outplayed Connor Hellebuck last night. Enough said.
Yeah, and I just want to get your guys' take on something. Is since Jim Montgomery's taken over, what are your thoughts on Jordan Kyrou and the way he's played?
So I wrote this down. Jamie, you spoke yesterday of seeing a different Kyrou under Montgomery. And following the 2-goal game, it's not just about the goals, it's about the way he's playing defense too. Following the 2-goal game, I thought it made sense to go back to that well today, to reiterate some of the points that you were making. I mean, for me, I think when Jordan Kyrou needs to showcase the speed like he did on that when it was 4-on-4, he does. He looks more like a complete player under Jim Montgomery. But, of course, Jamie, you got a better eye for this. So, coupled with what you saw last night, can you reiterate what you said yesterday about Jordan Kyrou's play under Jim Montgomery?
Yeah, so, Jordan Kyrou has a really unique relationship with Jim Montgomery because Jim Montgomery was tasked a couple of years ago to help develop Thomas and Kyrou. They're elite players, and at the NHL level, you don't really have position-specific coaches. So in this particular case, Monty was asked to work with them. He formed a really good friendship / bond with these guys. He challenged them. He helped them. He coached them. Anyways, he comes back now this time. Robert Thomas has continued to develop with or without Jim Montgomery, and I think he's still going to hit another level under Monty. Jordan Kyrou, we saw what happened. Kind of veered off the course a little bit. Still good offensively, but sometimes there, sometimes not. And he become the lightning rod for fans with their frustration at times. What I'm seeing now, back under Jim Montgomery, is Jordan Kyrou gets it. Like Monty always preaches, and you guys have heard me say this before. Monty preaches stay above the puck, tight checking, all this stuff. I told you guys in very simple terms. Play hard defensively and get the puck back. Because the faster you get the puck back, you go play offense and have fun.
Right.
And that's pretty much what Jordan Kyrou's doing right now. That line of Schenn, Holloway, and Kyrou, like I watched Jordan Kyrou fly across the ice in the neutral zone yesterday, cut a guy off in front of the bench, steal the puck, transition it, and away they went, and he ended up with a shot on net. I was like, the kid's getting it. The harder you play defensively, the quicker you kill plays for the opposition, and then you get to go have fun and play on the offense.
Sure.
And another thing I've noticed is Jordan Kyrou's not looking left, right, behind him every time he has the puck. He's looking to shoot it. He's led the team in shot attempts since Monty's taken over. He's shooting pucks at the net, and now he's getting paid off for that. So I'm seeing the evolution of Jordan Kyrou. I'm not talking about an all-star player yet or, some kind of Hall of Fame player. But you have to admit that watching him here in the last 4 games, it's been a different version. It's been the version that everybody's been craving for so long.
Jamie, I heard you talk about this yesterday, and I heard Curbs talk about it pregame. Morning skate yesterday, Jim Montgomery stopped the guys and said, "Hey, we're not doing this good enough. This part of the game." I think it was the passing. They weren't doing it crisp enough. It was kind of just got guys floating around and not doing the things that they were supposed to be doing, and he got on them. And I think that carries over into the game last night. You start to see guys doing the job that you're asking them to do. And that's, in my opinion, what a good coach does. It corrects things in practice or in morning skate, and then you carry it over into the game. Talk to me about just him and the morning skate and the things that you saw yesterday that translated to the game last night.
Yeah, well, let me go back a little bit. I'm going to go back to when I was breaking in the NHL, just for a second. And I remember coming out for training camp and making some passes or whatever. And I remember Basil McRae. I've got a lot of Basil McRae stories. He's an awesome dude. He skates up to me and he goes, "What kind of freaking pass is that?" I was like, "What are you?" I was like, "Well, it's close." He says, No. He says, "Hey, kid, this is the NHL. Every puck hits the tape. You don't screw around here. If you can't pass the puck tape to tape, you don't belong in the league." And that always stuck with me. I was like, holy crap, what are we doing here? So then I took pride in passing. So let's go back to yesterday. Let's go back to the Philly game, actually, where the fundamentals of passing and handling the puck were just non-existent. It was a sloppy game for the Blues. Mm-hmm. Well, Monty stored that in his memory bank. And as a coach, you wait. Instead of just ragging on the guys right away, you wait for the opportunity for that to present itself again, and that's when you stomp on it. And it presented itself again at morning skate where their passes were kind of all over the place, and Monty was like, "No, not having it. Not having it. Passing is essential, tape to tape, focus. This is crappy. This is sloppy." He said a few other things, can't say on here. But the players knew it then. And then he followed it up. He's like, "You guys are better than that. Like, you are. Get that out of our game right now." And the practice picked up, and the intensity picked up, and the engagement was there. And you're starting to see the details in the games now. I don't know how many times last night during the broadcast I had our producer pull clips of Blues players just dumping the puck in the corner and going to get it.
Yeah. Because
that was the best play available. Rather than toe dragging somebody or trying something crazy, move the puck ahead. And every single time they did it, it turned into either a puck retrieval or a shot on net for them. Mm-hmm. So they're learning. They're learning how to help themselves within the game as well. So a lot of positive things that have been happening under Coach Montgomery. Oh, and one last thing I'll say, too, is on the plane last night, get on the plane, and coaches always usually pull out the computers and they're watching the video clips and whatnot. Monty stands up like 10 minutes into it, takes the computer all the way back to the players, and he's like talking to a bunch of guys and whatnot, and then he comes back up to the front. Then he's sitting there, then he starts laughing at a play on the game, grabs the computer, goes back to talk to all the guys, and shows them a funny clip during the game, and everybody's laughing. And Monty comes back up to the front of the coaches again. Like, it's nonstop. Like, he goes back, shows them something good or bad, whatever it was, and then mostly bad, the first one, but then comes back with a funny clip after that. And so everybody's like, okay, it's just part of the process. Like, it's not personal, it's just part of the process. And I think that that's what Monty does so well, is the players understand that this isn't personal. It's just part of the process of becoming a good team.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a great anecdote right there. You can see that this team plays hard for Jim Montgomery, but more than that, they know what they're doing on the ice. So we can tell how energetic you are about it, Jamie, and why wouldn't you be after last night's victory for the Blues? More to come on that here in the Fast Lane, where it's 2:13. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Jamie's going to be with us for the next segment before he moves on with his day because he's traveling with the team. But I was thinking about this in regards to Broberg and Holloway. If the Blues do right the ship and become a consistent contender again in the future, is there an argument to be made that the acquisitions of Broberg and Holloway ushered in a new era for the Blues? I'll throw that at you guys next on 101 ESPN.
Comes back to Perico on the near side. Over to Broberg. Slap to the goal. Put it right on. And a save made by Hellebuck. Who's in front? Holloway with a shot. Rebound. He scores! Holloway picks up his own rebound. Over the right shoulder. Stick side on Hellebuck. And the St. Louis Blues are up 2-0 with their second goal in less than a minute.
Chris Kerber on the call. You heard it right here on the home of the Blues, 101 ESPN and the Blues Radio Network. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter, and joining us via the Thompson and Callaway phone line for the next 10 to 15 minutes is our guy Jamie Rivers breaking down last night's win over the Jets. I teased this question, and Jamie, if I'm using too much hyperbole here, if I'm just way over the top on this, let me know. But I was thinking about it last night. If the Blues do right the ship eventually, I'm not even just talking about in the next couple of months or even by the end of the season. I'm just talking about they become a contender in the next 1 to 3 years. Do we look back at the acquisitions of Broberg and Holloway and say that was the tipping point, that those two players ushered in a new era of Blues hockey?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the tipping point, but I feel like it's the nitrous oxide for the vehicle.
I like that.
If that makes sense.
Sure.
Because I still can't believe, like I said it this morning on TMA to those guys, I'm like, whoever's in charge of the Oilers, they should be fired immediately and never have a job in hockey again, like ever. Like, go sell running shoes or something. Because how on earth could you let this happen? Like, Holloway, at the start, we understand, like, not that he was a throw-in, obviously not, because Army targeted very strategically, but he, at the time, with the stats and whatnot, he had tremendous upside. Who knows what it'll be. Broberg was this big, silky smooth defenseman, but he hadn't played a lot yet. But, oh, my God. Like, I'm watching these two guys play, and especially Broberg. Like, guys, I harp on Philip Broberg because it's so friggin' rare to find a defenseman that's 6'4" or bigger, that skates like he does, handles the puck, has poise, makes good passes, really good stick defensively. He's not afraid to engage physically. Like that, those things are so rare. And here you are, you just went on an offer sheet at a team who let him walk.
Yeah.
It's unreal to me. So Army did a masterful job of bolstering his lineup. I guess the best way to compare it to for you guys is, let's say the Denver Broncos, right? They're okay. They're not really a playoff team yet. Who knows? Maybe. But let's say they missed the playoffs this year by a game or two. Mm-hmm. It would be, for me, that would be comparable to the Blues last year, just falling short. But then can you imagine if the Broncos in the offseason were able to go steal 2 first-round picks in very important positions on the field? Plus, they have their own first-round pick, plus their own second-round pick, plus whatever they have in-house. That would probably elevate that team pretty damn quickly, wouldn't it?
I would say so, yes.
Well, that's what Army did.
Yeah.
Because he stole Edmonton, had 2 first-round picks in Holloway and Broberg, and he went and took them. And he took them at the exact moment that they were about to erupt and become really good NHL players. Like, it's crazy. It's devil magic at its finest by Army.
Yeah, to add to your analogy, it would be as if somebody else, 2 first-round picks, but that were already developed. Coming out of college, it'd be 2 first-round picks. They're still young in their prime. And the other team had already developed those guys, so they're ready to be instant contributors to the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and imagine one of them being a quarterback, because I compare elite defensemen to quarterbacks because they control so much of the play. They play so much during the game. Like it's an important position, obviously. It's unreal what Army was able to do with those 2 offer sheets. And now moving forward, like when you look at this lineup, once everybody's healthy, the defense core is, solid. Now that you've seen what Broberg can do, Perico, I predicted he'd make that Team Canada First Nations team. I think I'll be paid off on that at some point later today when they announce the roster. You've got Falk, you've got Leddy, you've got Suter, you've got Kessel. You've got Joseph. Perunovic is playing better than he's ever played before. You've got Holford. You've got Binnington. You've got all the slew of young guys up front. You've got Dvorsky, who was player of the month down in the AHL at 10 points in 11 games. You've got Snuggerud, who's 5th in the nation right now at scoring. But, boys, RV has done a great job. And I will say that the tipping point, the nitrous oxide, it absolutely has to be Broberg and Holloway, because otherwise you would have to draft another 2 players in the first round in those positions specifically, develop them and wait, and that would elongate this. That would turn this into a rebuild. The fact that Army did this, it's a retool into a contending retooling team.
Jamie, you talked about the defense, and you've talked about Broberg. You talked about the Winnipeg Jets only getting 3 shots on goal in the second period. What did you make? How much did you enjoy watching Broberg and Parayko play together?
I'm not going to lie, guys. Yeah, it got me excited. Is what I'll say, okay? We're just going to keep it clean here. But, yeah, it was unreal. I didn't expect them to play as much as they did together, and they played almost the whole game together. So and we saw exactly what can happen at that point. And look at the end of the game, too. The last half of the third period, you're looking to close that game out. Those guys are on every second shift. And the Winnipeg Jets, couldn't solve the riddle. Oh, let's go to the left. Oh, the 6'4" guy who skates like the wind, has great stick, and plays tough defensively. Oh, no, go to the right. Oh, that guy, 6'6" defenseman who skates just as good with a long reach. Yeah, this is not working out. And you can see them almost, I'm going to say give up, but the frustration was setting in. They couldn't get the inside position. They couldn't get to the middle of the ice to get a shot on net. Everything was on the perimeter. Every time they went to shoot, one of those twin towers put their stick in the way, deflected it, poked it off their stick. So annoying to play against.
Jamie, the other aspect here too is, of course, the pairing that you saw last night, but the different combinations, what Jim Montgomery was trying to discover with all the changes. Do you think he got some answers last night? And if so, what were those answers?
Well, I just think he's got really good balance now in his lineup. And look, he's expecting Pavel Buchnevich to be back in the lineup tomorrow night here in Calgary. He said it flat out. He says, I expect him to be a player on Thursday night. We'll see, but I expect that. So if that's the case, now you've got Booch coming back here. He'll probably replace Saad on that line. Saad will probably drop to the third line just because of where you're at right now. But what that does is it creates so much depth for your lineup. The Sundqvist, Joseph, Bolduc line will probably now look like Sundqvist, Saad, and Bolduc. So, not that there's a big upgrade over Matthew Joseph, but Saad is a perennial 20-goal scorer in the NHL. His resume speaks for itself. It's just an upgrade. Statistically, it's an upgrade at that spot. And you've got the Foxa, Walker, Torchenko line. They're morphing into a version of what the Blues had eons ago with Sundqvist, Barbashev, and Steen. Now, their offensive upside is not nearly as high as those 3 guys were, but the reliability factor is. Last night, Monty has them on the ice against the Connor line or Shifley, and without hesitation. When you can do that on the road, put your 4th line out there against the other team's first line, you're in a good spot at that point. Your lineup is balanced pretty good. So if you get Booch back and you get Leddy and Falk back, guys, it's pretty exciting seeing what this team is doing right now without all those guys. It's going to take some time for those guys to knock some of the rust off, in particular Leddy. But still, man, your team is looking really good.
Jamie Rivers, we appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys too, man.
Thanks for coming on with us.
We'll try to solve this Canadian riddle tomorrow. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jamie's trying to figure out some Canadian Wi-Fi trick in order to join us for at least a couple of hours ahead of tomorrow night's Blues and Flames game. But no, great win last night. The Flames did beat the Blue Jackets last night. They've been struggling, so maybe it's another opponent here the Blues can take advantage of. Another good opponent, but another one that the Blues can get one over on. Jamie, thanks, man. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
All right.
See ya.
Again, Jamie Rivers here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. That game you can listen to right here on 101 ESPN. So the Cardinals have made some hirings. They've hired some people, and not that we're going to be able to break down what the hirings.
What position do they play?
No, these are coaches.
Oh,
Yeah.
third base coach? First base?
We'll tell you next and
Okay.
what it all means here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Imagine a place where you have that's open to not only yourself but also your family, and it's a way that there's different things that you can become involved in for you yourself as an individual, for your wife, your kids. That's what the Missouri Athletic Club is for our family. There's different clubs, whether it's fitness or wellness or athletics, youth programs that they have, summer camps, winter camps. They got all things going on at the Missouri Athletic Club. Whether it's downtown location where they host a lot of big time events, where they got their speaker series going on, or the West Clubhouse, which is the one I frequent the most when it comes to my daily routine. Missouri Athletic Club, it's, again, perfect for me and my family. That's my MAC, Missouri Athletic Club.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues pick up a victory in Winnipeg last night. Final score 4-1. We just got done talking about your St. Louis Blues. If you missed those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. It is free, so go download it if you have not done so yet. The Blues will take on the Calgary Flames tomorrow. Pre-game starts at 7. Puck drop will be at 8. And, of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. The Cardinals have hired some new people in the organization. Carey's a little skeptical, but we're going to tell him why this is a good thing. That's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. As Marsh has told you in the Sports Center update, front office hires were announced today for the Cardinals. A couple of player development positions here, Carey.
Oh, yeah.
Named today, Larry Day as director, player development. Carl, you giving the company to Carl?
I'm sure he's a good man.
Carl Koken as the director of performance and Matt Pierpont as director of pitching. The keys here, guys, because we can't really break down the abilities of these gentlemen. I have no idea if they're good coaches or not. I have no idea if they can develop anybody. But the keys are that these gentlemen are from some key organizations, namely Cleveland and Tampa. And if you're going the Cleveland/Tampa route, you might as well continue to dip into the Cleveland/Tampa well. And this has become the theme.
And the Dodgers, I believe, too.
And the Dodgers.
Carl Koken.
Yeah, Koken was from the Dodgers. Thank you, Marsh.
And you're thinking of Eric giving the company to
Eric. That's right, not Carl.
Carl, we can get Carl.
Carl was
we'll
good.
Give the company to Carl.
That's right. Give him to Eric. So there is not only a theme, but there's a game plan here for the Cardinals. I'm good with this, guys. I'm good with the strategy being, if you're going to go all developments, if you're going to go in that development route, you might as well go with organizations that can develop young talent. I mean, that's obvious.
Yeah.
The Dodgers have one of the better farm systems in all of baseball, not because they buy those guys. It's because they've got a vast scouting department that is paid well to find talent. And this is why they can constantly dip back into their farm system to make key trades when they need to do so. Yes, they've got they've got deep pockets when it comes to free agency, but let's not overlook the fact that there's a lot of guys that they have drafted and developed along the way, either used as trades or used at the big league level. Cleveland, when was the last time you saw Cleveland make some big time free agent acquisitions?
Right.
They have to draft and develop those guys. Tampa is really the poster child of that. And I know that Tampa didn't make the playoffs last year, but consistently they have competed with some of the big boys in their own division, such as the Yankees and the Red Sox. So I like the model here of dipping in, first of all, going outside the organization. And that's one thing I don't think the Cardinals have done enough of. Like when you're winning and you're churning out talent, you want to stick within, you want to go with internal hires, I'm fine with that, no problem. But when you have lost your way, so to speak, and there's another Billy Madison reference there for you, Marsh. When you have lost your way, going outside the organization to get fresh eyes on the situation is smart. So I can't tell you much about these three hires outside of the fact of I understand why they were brought in because of where they came from.
You got a responsibility.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just excited that they are putting more emphasis on the development part of the game. And we talked about this in the past, is that, concerned about how players are once they get here, right? Are they prepared? Are they ready? Well, how do you get prepared? You can't just sign a player and say, all right, be great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What how?
I drafted you. That's the Jets model. We
You're
drafted you.
Now go play.
Save the organization.
What do I need to do?
Win. Yeah, no, that's why we did our jobs.
Yeah, no, you got to teach people how to be professionals and how to go about the day-to-day business. And so I'm excited about, this mindset of going and putting all of these people in place to help usher those players into the professional ranks into Major League Baseball, showing them how to become, how to get there, and then how to stay there. Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the most important things. So the Cardinals, in my opinion, are doing it the right way. I can't recall an off season where you've had this much excitement in terms of people being brought in, but it's not players.
Yeah.
And even you could even say with players over the last 4 or 5 years when we're Are you excited? I'm excited because they're actually doing something.
Gotcha. Okay.
In comparison to sitting on their hands and saying, "No, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're the Cardinals.
Yeah.
What do you think? Huh? We're good." And now this year, it feels like they're saying, "Yeah, I thought we were good, but there are areas where we can be better at." And here are some. And again, I don't know if these guys are going to do a fantastic job or not, but it's the thought of actually putting these people in place, because you noticed that there was a need to be better. And I think that's the most important thing. Like, you noticed that there was a need to be better, and now we're going to hire people that can hopefully do their job well enough to help us be better in those areas. That's it. Yeah. That's all you can do.
We got some comments here from Paul and John in the Snake Pit. Paul said farm system was an envy at the time. Who was accountable for the failure? Mo is he's the head of the chain there. Really, it's ownership on down, but Mo. John says, Anthony, the St. Louis Cardinals used to be the organization that teams rated for the talent to help build their organization, and when the brain drain was done, all that was left was Mo. You're right. Absolutely, John. 100%. I echo your sentiment on that. So do you sit there and you continue to do the same thing that doesn't work? No. And Mo did try to change things up. Mm-hmm. He just changed it in the wrong way, in my opinion. He got away from he knew he had an issue when it came to position players. So instead of constantly developing young pitching, which is what they were good at, they got away from that because they knew they needed more offense. That's not a crime.
Right.
But the missteps along the way led you to where you are now. It no longer works under Mo. So they're going to part ways here after the year, and now Bloom's going to be in charge. And what do you do when a new guy comes in? He's going to bring in his own guys, or guys that he feels like can be a part of the future. I never understood when I was younger what a mission statement was. I'm like, mission statement? Why do you have to have a mission statement?
How you go about your day-to-day business.
It's
who you are at your core.
Exactly. It's the why.
What you're doing.
Here's why we do it, and not only what we're doing, but here's why we do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like with these hires, Bloom is essentially saying this is going to be our mission statement. Mm-hmm. We're going to draft and develop players. They're going to come up through this organization. We're going to have the resources to keep those guys like Mason Wynn when they do pan out. We're not going to be the Rays and trade them off, or Cleveland and trade them off. We're going to have the resources to keep those guys. But this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get back to roots.
Yeah.
I don't think they're saying, as of right now, we will never spend big on free agents. I don't even think that's really part of the discussion right now, because they need to fix the foundation first.
And I think they are headed in that direction. You talked about Carl Koken. He's the director of performance. He's been a strength and conditioning coach. One of the things that I have complained about over the past few years is, why the hell do our guys get injured so often, and why do they stay injured? Mm-hmm. Well, it's your training. It's how you prepare for a season. And then once you do get hurt, how do you rebound from it?
Yeah.
But the main thing, we call it prehab instead of rehab. Prehab is the things you do prior to prevent yourself from getting injured. All of those things matter. So if you're not taking care of your body and you do get injured, it takes you longer to get back. So things like this, for me, and this is a new position they never had it within the organization. Like that's a signal to me that they understand, man, we do have a problem.
Yeah.
We have had a problem. Why does Lars Newbar continuously get hurt? Let's figure it out so that he doesn't get hurt. You get hit by a 98-mile-an-hour fastball in the rib, that's probably going to hurt. You might be out.
Right.
But if you're just running and you tweak something, let's figure out how to prevent that from happening over and over again. Why are you getting injured when you're swinging? This is part of the job. Let's do things to build up those muscles so you don't continue to get hurt. That's what this is, in my opinion. And this is, to me, it's obviously not as good as signing an all-star, position player or a Cy Young potential pitcher, but it's the things that are going to help your players get to that level because you drafted them believing that they have that level in them.
This is necessary.
Yes.
That's the bottom line. It's necessary. I think we need to go all the way back as opposed to like keying in on whether or not they're going to eventually spend some money on free agents. They have to. They, in some respects, they're starting over.
Yeah.
Call that a retool, a rebuild, a rebrand. I don't care. Whatever you want, but they're going to have to. What's that?
Rihanna?
Yeah,
That's
Rihanna.
the I want. If you, hey.
I was thinking R.E. She's R.I., but
you said whatever you want. And you said it.
I did.
And I said Rihanna because you said whatever I want. And if we're giving away Rees, if Rees can go, Rihanna.
I think you're going to be
the one I'd prefer.
All right, I'll write that down.
Okay.
I think we're going to be rejected.
Oh man, I don't like how you're talking. That's ridiculous, actually.
Another R.I.
I think we should revisit that idea later.
Let's do that.
I think we got them all out. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. You can always partake in the show. Text line, Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. If you're in the snake pit, shout out to you. Appreciate you. That's the Airlines Team YouTube channel, and you can always listen to us on the 101 ESPN Schaefer Door Company app. It's completely free to use. You can leave us a mic drop no matter what we're talking about, whether we're calling for mic drops or not. You can always leave us one. Become part of the show. We always appreciate you. Okay, so you and I declared that 3 teams were dead in college football. I think we're going to be right on 2 of them. I don't think we're going to be right on that third. And speaking of the snake pit, John kept telling us, this one team's going to be in, boys.
And it's ridiculous,
There
Anthony.
you go. I said it.
I mean, that's all right. Yeah.
But we can have whatever we want, so we're...
Until you get rejected.
Nah. I don't
College football playoff ratings. Is it Alabama versus the loser of the ACC title game? That's really the conversation that's left. That's next on 101 ESPN. Over 700, that's right, 700, you heard that correctly, new and used vehicles all in one location. If you're looking for a car, a truck, a van, an SUV, whatever you're looking for, man, Auto Centers Nissan, they've got it. So go see my friends out in Herculaneum. One location with discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. You can look for massive year-end dealer discounts like up to $11,900 off MSRP on select new Nissan models, including 0% APR for 60 months on the brand new Rogue. Available no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans or no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles are also available. If you're kind of missing some of the things that I'm saying right now, bottom line is they've got great deals with outstanding financing rates, and they've got financing options for everyone that walks through the door at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. As always, their qualified new and used vehicles come with the complimentary lifetime warranty. Plus, all new Nissans come with a 30-day return promise. No one offers this option with 3 free oil changes, including through their Nissan Maintenance Care Plan. It's all available at AutoCentersNissan.com. Start off at AutoCentersNissan.com. And when you go see them out in Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan. So shout out to John from the Snake Pit, our YouTube channel, because he kept telling us, hey, boys, Bama's going to be in this thing. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but Bama's going to be in this thing. And after the committee did what it did last night, John Boy's right. Bama's going to be in this thing.
So there's a chance they may not be.
I don't see it. Do you?
So I was listening to, I forget his name. He's the Michigan athletic director, but he's over the college football playoff committee.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Emmanuel.
Charlie Manuel?
Charlie Manuel. That's who it
He's
is.
a great manager, but not him.
Charlie Manuel.
EJ Manuel?
No, he's a good quarterback for Florida State and the Buffalo Bills.
Eugene Robinson.
We're not even going to talk about him. What he did before the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
No.
What do you do? Prehab?
Oh, yeah. He was preparing, all right.
Won himself an award and wound up in prison. Oh. Yep.
Not great.
Not great.
That was a poor decision, man.
A little bit.
Yeah. So I was looking at it, and he was talking about, if you can find his name.
Tony.
No.
TD? It's a Big Ten commissioner.
No, Michigan's commissioner.
Oh, Michigan's commissioner.
Michigan's AD.
Michigan
Either
AD.
way.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Ward Manuel.
Ward Manuel.
Ward Manuel.
Yeah, Ward. I knew it was something.
Charlie Ward Manuel.
That's who it was.
Charlie Ward E.J. Manuel. That's who he is. Yep, got it.
No. Okay. So he was talking about yesterday, he was on with Reese Davis, and he was talking about how the committee puts more emphasis on those teams that are actually playing in their championship games. Mm-hmm. So Miami is not, Alabama is not, Clemson, who is behind Alabama and Miami, They are. So if they were to somehow beat SMU, I think because SMU is ahead of Miami and Alabama, I think you get Clemson in because they get the automatic bid, but I think you still get SMU in.
I think SMU falls.
I don't.
I think Bama's the last team in.
I don't. I think, and obviously
me the committee's going to choose.
Listening to him,
use your noggin. Yeah, he's the Big Ten, but he's Michigan's guy.
But he's also the head of the committee, and he's explaining it. He basically said yesterday,
guy's a liar.
Maybe I don't know him well. He's at Michigan, so it's possible.
Whoa, another dig at Michigan.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. They'll be okay. They got championships. They'll be fine. He's basically saying that those teams that are currently sitting where they are really have no chance to move up. So he essentially, how I received what he was saying yesterday, Miami, you're done. It's over for you, pal.
Ole Miss, too.
You're done. Yeah. There's no chance for you to get in. And he basically said, we don't have anything else to go off of. Your season is done. You've played all of your games. Now, what we can do is still go off of these teams that have championship games.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get one Big 12 team because both of those teams are behind Alabama and Miami. So the automatic bid goes to the winner of the championship game. But that Clemson ACC SMU game, because of where SMU is ranked, I don't see them falling out of the top 10 or top 12 if they lose that game to Clemson.
And it depends how the game is played, too. So if Clemson wins by a field goal or, even less, then from what I read and what you're saying, what you heard, it sounds like SMU would still be in the college football playoff. And now let's not overlook the SEC championship game. If Georgia gets blown out by Texas, which probably won't happen, but let's say they do.
Georgia's good.
I think Georgia.
Let's say they get blown out, right? And then SMU loses to Clemson, and then SMU is a 2-loss team, and then you have Georgia 3-loss versus Alabama 3-loss.
With a head-to-head.
With a head-to-head, Alabama then could get in. Maybe Georgia doesn't get in. So there's some different ways to look at this.
I'll leave that possibility open.
But they got to get blown out, right?
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
And I don't either. I think that's going to be a close game between Texas and Georgia.
I hope they get blown out.
Well, why?
Yeah, why?
I don't know. I just Georgia.
No, they've been in it.
Okay.
I guess they weren't in it last year.
I think the only way Georgia doesn't make it is if they get blown out and you get an injury to their quarterback. Because we saw that last year.
There's been precedent
for it. You've seen it.
So I seen it.
I seen it. So
Actually, it might be better without him.
No.
Oh, Marsh. He had a good quarter last week.
But I do. I think Clemson winning it makes it difficult for Alabama to still be in.
SMU wins, conversation's over. Alabama's in.
Agreed.
If Clemson wins, the whole conversation becomes about SMU versus Bama. And I'll believe it when I see it.
SMU would have two losses.
That the committee takes SMU over Bama.
Alabama lost to Vanderbilt, a team that was not even ranked.
Whatever you're going to say is going to make all kinds of sense, Carey.
SMU.
I'm not going to fight you on it.
2 losses.
But you're going to have to listen to me on this.
One to BYU, who was ranked, I think, top 10 at the time or right there.
Doesn't look good now.
And then one to Clemson. I mean, BYU's still ranked.
They got 2 losses.
They do. But then one to Clemson, like another team that obviously would have won the ACC championship. I'm just saying.
No, it'd be BS if they say all these things and then it happens, it plays out that way, and then they still go ahead and put Bama in.
I don't think they will.
I don't think so either, because they have said it.
Yeah.
It'd be different if they didn't say that, right? And then it's up for speculation, up for debate, which is fine. You know, that's our job. We like to talk about these things.
It's part of the fun. I'm not knocking. By the way, I'm not knocking this. This is what I asked for. The drama.
The other one, UNLV beating Boise. Now, if Boise loses, I think they're out.
I do too.
And it's I hate to say that. It would bother me because they would be a 2-loss team, 1 loss being in the championship game to a 2-loss UNLV team, and then the other loss to the number 1 team in the entire country.
There's only one Mountain West ticket.
If Boise State loses.
And they might.
And I'm just going off of what Charlie Ward Manuel said yesterday. I heard him with my own 2 ears. They are putting more what you do, the fact that you are in a conference championship game matters more than those that are not. Miami, Ole Miss, Alabama, you're not playing.
Yeah.
You ain't in it. You're Alabama is holding on by a thread. If one of these teams behind them wins their championship game, they could possibly be the ones looking around. So
you're saying it's possible that if UNLV wins, that Boise State would then just get one of the at-large bids rather than the group of 5?
I think
it's harder for them to get the at-large bid than SMU. I think if Clemson wins, SMU is still in the tournament. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
If Boise State loses to UNLV is in. I don't know that Boise State has enough to only move back a spot or 2 after a loss like that.
Their biggest, I'd say, thing for their resume wasn't even a win. It was a close loss to the number 1 team in the nation. That's why.
Correct.
That's their biggest accomplishment, which is kind of weird to say.
So Frick James brings up a really good question. He says, what's the betting odds of UNLV winning it all? So if you look at it now, they're plus 25. They're plus 25,000 to win it all. They've got the worst odds. Boise's right ahead of them, though. So the teams right now with odds: Oregon, Texas, Ohio State, Georgia, Notre Dame, Penn State, and then you know who's after Penn State?
Alabama.
Then at SMU, Tennessee, Indiana, Clemson, Arizona State, Iowa State, Boise State.
This is the thing. This is why my brain just wants to explode. Have they not watched Alabama?
Specifically,
did you not watch Alabama play Oklahoma 2 weeks ago?
That was the one that should have been.
Did you not watch that?
Not.
Are you kidding me? Like Vanderbilt, it's a tough loss. Okay, Vanderbilt is 6-6, and you give them all the credit in the world. But you lost to an Oklahoma team, and Jalen Milroe didn't do much of anything in that game. You scored 3 points in that game to Oklahoma. Come on, man.
I'm with you.
Come on.
That's why you and I kept saying, like, Bama's done, Ole Miss is done, Miami's done. Miami loses to Syracuse. You're out. Ole Miss lost to, who'd they lose to a couple of weeks ago? When Jackson Dart was crying.
Florida. They lost to Florida.
You're out.
Yeah.
And Florida had started to improve. It's not like a Syracuse loss. Well. But you're done, right? Bama, you lose to Oklahoma. You're out.
You're done.
But they just kept hanging Bama around, and this is what happens.
Their saving grace is the fact that no other team behind them could really take it
Correct.
and run with it.
Yes.
Miami did it to themselves.
Yes,
They did.
Once Miami lost to Syracuse, it was almost like
And I
we
think-
can get Bama in here.
I wonder if Miami loses earlier in the season, if that changes things, because now you've lost 2 games out of your last 3, and you're not on a good trajectory heading into the college football playoff. I think
Right.
that means more than, like, look at Notre Dame. They probably have had the worst loss
They have.
out of any of the teams in the top 12.
Absolutely.
And somehow they're right in the thick of things.
Yeah, I think it's probably because they lost to a MAC team though. And the committee looks at it as like, hey, listen, this MAC program, they play on Tuesday nights. They're for real. But Marsh, your point is well made.
I don't know that that's what they were thinking.
Droid FX, Bama has absolutely no right to be in. No, number 3 team would be in. 3 loss team. Listen, Droid, I completely agree with
But
you.
it's the SEC,
They're
right?
Bama's going to
the
get it.
SEC, baby.
Bama is good. I feel real good about 2 things. Probably you should fade me right now, right? Because whenever I feel real good about something, you just fade my ass. But I feel real good about 2 things. The top 4 in the NFL, the conference championship teams being the Lions, Eagles, and Chiefs, Bills, and Bama getting into the college football playoff. I feel great about those 2 things.
You're missing one thing, Anthony.
Real great.
You're missing one thing.
What's that?
Here we go.
Steelers.
Here we go.
Pittsburgh's going to the college football playoff.
That's not how that goes.
All right, Jim Bowden of The Athletic.
Bobby's brother.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, please, no. He had a little trade scenario involving the Cardinals, the Phillies, but the trade and who it involves made me go, don't like that. That's next on 101 ESPN. 306, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. So Jim Bowden.
Bobby's brother.
No, that's Bobby Bowden. This is Jim Bowden.
Same.
Former general manager of Major League Baseball for the, now writes for The Athletic. He put together a couple of different trade scenarios. And number 2 on that list was the Phillies adding Ryan Helsley from the Cardinals. You think, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Phillies losing Jeff Hoffman and Carlos Estevez, and they're going to need somebody. So, yeah, makes sense. Cardinals looking to move Ryan Helsley. Cool.
Is that Emilio's brother?
Yeah, it's Emilio. All right, good. But Jim doesn't stop there. He goes on to write, Cardinals wouldn't be able to get top pitching prospect Andrew Painter or the Phillies' top position player prospect, which is third baseman Aiden Miller, in a deal. But they are trying to move Nolan Arenado and his contract. So perhaps if they package him with Helsley, they can get third baseman Alec Boehm from the Phillies, which would be a much better long-term situation for St. Louis, as Boehm is 28 and under team control for 2 more years. Arenado has a full no-trade clause, so he would have to waive his no trade clause, of course. And I would imagine he would, based on the fact that the Phillies are a contender. If the Cardinals significantly paid down Arenado's contract, they could also possibly get a prospect back in return, like outfielder Dante Nori, perhaps. Nori, 20, was the Phillies' first-round pick last year. Helsley and Arenado for Boehm and Nori. All right. Here's my thing on this. 1, I don't know what Alec Boehm does for you in a retool. That's number 1. 2, why would you package up Helsley and Arenado? The only reason to do that would be to get rid of Arenado's contract, which in turn is to submarine Ryan Helsley's value.
True.
Because that's all you're doing then. Yeah. You're attaching Arenado, you're getting rid of the contract, and in order to do so, you're going to give up Ryan Helsley in a deal. From a fan perspective, that is worst-case scenario. From a business standpoint for the Cardinals, maybe it makes sense. I don't care. From a fan perspective, shoot me in the face. I don't want that. I do not package up Helsley and Arenado together.
I think from a baseball standpoint, if you're trying to rebuild your team, that doesn't really compute.
Doesn't do anything.
That doesn't do anything.
If you want to bite the bullet on the Arenado contract or get it off the books and get very little in return, go for it. But don't attach that to Ryan Helsley.
Does that show that they're more concerned or their priorities lie within getting rid of money in the money aspect of things rather than rebuilding their organization?
Yes. That's what that would tell me.
And we're not saying that's what they're going to do.
It's gross. No, this is just
it's hypothetical.
It's hypothetical. This is a former GM that throws stuff out. He does throw a lot of stuff out there. I mean, he produced a lot of content for The Athletic, and he throws some crap against the wall. Okay?
Now, I wonder if he would do that.
That's a great question.
So I was looking, you mentioned Philadelphia, and why would Philly do it? If your top position prospect is a third baseman, why would you trade for Nolan Arenado?
Right.
Like,
or
why
even
would you
give up Boehm?
They're trying to win now.
If you're moving on from a third baseman, why would you bring one back?
Yeah.
If your top prospect is a third baseman, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
You just keep Boehm. You just keep Boehm for 2 more years,
if that's
and then
the case,
either trade him or move on from that deal.
You could trade if they're willing to trade Helsley.
I think this is going to be a Helsley for prospect package.
What else do you think you're not going to get as much for Ryan Helsley at this point? In my opinion, not as much as you would have last trade deadline.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it would have been far greater.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you have a third baseman here right now, and you also have people that can play third base, which you're trying to find spots for all of these players. So to bring back another third baseman, it's almost like you're working backwards. Like your goal should be trade. If your goal is to trade some of those players, Ryan Helsley because you don't want to pay him next year, Nolan Arenado because you don't want to pay him this year or anymore, then you need to be getting prospects back because you have position players and say this is a youth movement. This is what we're doing. This is where we're going. And these players we get back in return are going to help us in the future.
Could Alec Boehm be a part of that youth movement, though? I know he's not
really
a drafted player
not
from
in
your
my
organization, but he's still young.
Yeah, he's 28, so he's still in his prime, so he's got another 4 years or so left of his prime. But if we are going to go down this money rabbit hole here, Bohm is set to make a ton of money in a raise from arbitration. So why would you get rid of that contract only to take on another, I don't know, $8 to $12 million in arbitration? So could he be a part of it? I guess, but to me, you free up that spot like Carey's talking about because you want to evaluate your own guys. So I don't think it makes sense for either team. I think moving Ryan Helsley to the Phillies for a prospect, for a package of prospects, that makes sense. So you want to do that, great. But packaging him with Arenado makes no sense. That would suck.
It's ridiculous.
Zoosh asks, why is a 28-year-old considered a top prospect? He wouldn't be.
No, we're talking about the other prospect.
Yeah, we're talking about what Carey is referring to is the top position prospect within the Phillies organization. Aiden Miller.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for them to keep Bohm for a couple of years and then promote, if this kid Miller's any good, you promote him and then you move on.
Keep him for one more year and let him walk in.
Yeah.
Use the other guy, Miller, going in, getting in there. Yep. I don't know. They got to figure something out.
They will.
Or don't. Keep them both on the roster.
Will.
Nah. I like it. I like both of them on the roster. Cardinal.
You say they're going to figure it out. Where's your confidence in terms of Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl and Alabama getting into the college football playoff? Where would your confidence in the Cardinals figuring out lie?
That'd be third on that list.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far down is it? Well, like 1, 2, and then 3 is like all the way down.
Right now, I feel like there's only 3 options, so that one's really that's a solid third for me.
Gotcha.
Now, if we start to bring up other scenarios,
like the Falcons winning the NFC South.
Oh, that's
okay.
That's lower than.
So number 1 would be the Buccaneers winning the NFC South.
Oh, God.
No. We're saying
we're Falcons.
We're
winning.
Falcons winning the NFC South.
Oh, that'd be 4th.
Okay.
Wow. So okay.
I have more faith in the Cardinals moving Arenado and Helsley than the Falcons winning the NFC South.
Well, no, they'll probably move him, but like, we're talking. They move him, and it's a good deal. Like, where does that lie? Is that still third?
That's third.
You gotta be kidding me.
Have you not seen this team play?
They still lead the division.
Do you see Kirky
4-1
throw it 2 feet Cousins with no stank on it?
He threw a paper plane out there. It was just floating in the air. Pick me.
I'm shocked that DB caught it. It was so slow and so behind. I'm shocked that DB got mitts on it.
Looked like a Lee Smith forkball.
Oh, man.
Looked like a Tim Wakefield knuckle curve. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to play Prove Me Wrong. So if you got a Prove Me Wrong statement that you want to send into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646 is the text line. Again, Prove Me Wrong is next.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right, we do this every Wednesday in the Fast Lane. This is where Carey, Jamie and I, step into the Honorable Andrew Marsh's courtroom. And fine lad. Mm-hmm. And we argue against a point that you bring up via the Air Comfort Service X line. Could be sports related or not, but basically Carey and I are the lawyers. Marsh is judge, jury, and executioner. And here we go.
He's outstanding.
Oh, yeah, he's the best.
And here we go. From a 618, prove me wrong. Chaim Bloom is the savior for the Cardinals. LOL.
I mean,
was he the savior in Boston?
There you go.
I don't think so. He traded Mookie Betts for Alex Verdugo. You know where Alex is playing right now? At the Yankees.
California Penal League?
No, the Yankees. Mookie Betts for Alex Verdugo and a prospect. That's Bloom.
What did Mookie do this last season?
Won himself a World Series championship.
Third? This is third.
Bloom might be fine in Tampa, where there's basically no expectations and no fans.
Or they actually play in St. Pete.
But in St. Louis, where the expectations are high, just like Boston, Bloom's going to fail.
Yeah, you're right, Anthony. I think we should just. I think the Cardinals should just keep Mo around for a little bit longer.
Oh,
that's a different. I didn't have to prove that. I just had to prove the other thing.
You're wrong on that one, Anthony. He actually has to be. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen.
And you're wearing a Cardinals hat today, so.
I am.
Yep.
But this Cardinal hat, this logo in particular, was back when they were good. You know?
Okay.
Now, it still says STL, and it looks exactly the same.
Sure.
But it looks a little bit more like the hat, the logo back in, like, the 40s.
I like that. I like that
50s
logo.
Or, you know, it is a cool logo. All right. From the 636, prove me wrong. Mizzou plays for an SEC championship this decade. And we need to remind the listeners that the
What year are we
decades...
in?
We're in 2024 right now.
So in the next 5 years? Nah, there's no way that's going to happen.
26,
No,
27,
this
28,
decade.
29. So, yeah, five
next
years.
5 years.
Yes.
I would say no. I mean, you had your best chance. You had everybody coming back. You had all of your skilled guys back on the roster. You were ranked high. You came in. You were got to as high as number 7. You know where number 7 gets you right now, Anthony?
Playoffs.
College football playoffs. So, you know, I would have to say, nah, it's not happening. It's your best opportunity. I was telling BK that when I was walking in. I was like, hey, it's probably over, brother. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I actually told him that. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're losing your top 3 wide receivers. One of them going to the NFL, going to have a spectacular career. Theo Weiss probably going to the NFL, too. He's done a fantastic job. Your quarterback, out of there. Running backs, see you soon. Like, what are you going to do offensively? You're going to put together a whole new offense? You're going to go in the transfer portal? Tell me how that's worked out for all the teams that are gone and tried to get transfer portal kids and play right away and win a national championship, huh? Does it work for you?
No, sir.
It's a guy that they brought in. Wasn't it Kelly Bryant? Didn't they try that? They've been there, done that. How'd that work out? Not great. Not happening.
Moving on. From the 314. Cardinal bird hat guy won't like that. From the 314, the way the Blues are playing now, it's not what everybody is calling a coach bump chop. This will be consistent, and they will play as good as they're playing throughout the rest of the season. Can you prove this listener wrong?
Still got a long way to go here. I mean, we're really only talking about 4 games. And as one of the listeners pointed out to me yesterday, they were outshot in New Jersey. Judge, you were there. You saw it in front of you. How'd that Philadelphia game go? Not great. They've got a lot to work on still. Special teams, still a bit of an issue. If your goaltender didn't bail you out a couple of times in these last 4 games, I don't think you look as strong. So, yeah, same old Blues. Thank you.
Now, if you want to know what Anthony really thinks about your Blues, why don't you go download the podcast at 101ESPN.com or the free Schaefer Door 101 ESPN mobile app. It is free, and it's all brought to you by
Dobbs Tire and Auto Center.
Yeah, because I love them right now. I think they're a completely different team.
Yes. From the 314, prove me wrong, Anthony. The Atlanta Falcons have no good qualities to help them win the NFC South.
No good qualities. They got a guy named Bijan Robinson, baby. He's looked very good of late. Defense, one thing that was overlooked in the Kirky football game last week is that the defense looked like they figured things out coming out of the bye. No offensive touchdowns for the Chargers. They should have lost, but Kirky football is done. And here's the other quality. It's not like if you bench Kirk Cousins, you're going to Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
You're going to Michael Penix Jr. They got a guy. And let me remind you, when the Ravens decided to bench Joe Flacco for Lamar Jackson, that Ravens team figured things out and went to the playoffs. Now, is Lamar Michael Penix Jr.? Is Michael Penix Jr. Lamar? Probably not.
We never know.
But we know that he can throw the ball more than 5 feet. No quality.
5 feet. Gosh.
No.
Wow.
No good qualities? I think not. They've got plenty.
Well said, Anthony. By the way, the 636 is heading to the gas station. Need anything?
Yes. Yeah, energy
Always.
drinks, beef jerky. Basically.
Beef jerky is way too, it's
yeah.
way overpriced. Can we
Why-
talk about that for 1
When
second?
did beef jerky become like oil? You know? You're right. Bag of beef jerky running you $8
Yeah.
easily.
I mean, you get a big bag, we're pushing 20.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
You're about $18.75 on that big bag.
I stopped at the Wally's gas station. I was coming back from Chicago.
Wally World?
Wally's.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wally's.
The big
Wally's,
one. It kind of
yeah.
looks like Wally
I
World.
spent $8 on a cup of coffee, a bag of M&Ms, one of those
Peanut or
sandwiches.
just
Peanut
regular?
M&Ms. Peanut M&Ms. It was $8 for all of this stuff. A sandwich,
Those sandwiches
And
run
the-
you about $5.
but it only cost $8 total. I was amazed.
That's not bad at all.
That was
the coffee, depending on where you're going,
It's like $2, $3.
Yeah, easily.
Cardinals must have scored 6.
Yeah.
No way.
different place.
Yeah, gave up 6 maybe.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't you just get the free coffee here, Gary?
I was on the road coming back from Chicago.
That was okay.
I was
That was
coming
over
back
the
from
weekend. My
Chicago.
bad. I thought you were.
Yeah.
What'd you get today?
I got Starbucks. I had some points saved up from
Okay,
Starbucks.
all right.
I saw
Didn't wanna-
Carey at Starbucks one day.
Yeah?
I was there getting a drink, and all of a sudden I see someone with his face was cut off, but I see a 101 ESPN hoodie. I go, I wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
All of a sudden Carey walks in and was like,
kidding.
oh, hey.
What happened
I'll
to
see you in
Carey's
5
face?
minutes.
I don't know why my face would be cut off, Marshy. What happened?
Yeah.
Well, it was like the door.
Oh,
The angle that I was at, I couldn't see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's always good seeing you guys
You
outside
get
of work.
coffee. You get plenty of coffee here.
Yeah. Okay, let's do one more. From the 217, prove me wrong. The NFL playing on Christmas Day takes away from the NBA playing on Christmas.
Yes, it does, and it's glorious.
Oh, that's wrong. It definitely does. And I hate it.
Why do you hate it?
Because the NBA used to be Christmas Day.
Yeah, now it's not.
You know, when Shaq and Kobe were gonna play each other, like that's Christmas Day.
Not
Like,
anymore.
Basketball,
Talking
NBA, and the NFL just came and did their bully thing.
Yep.
And said, we're taking over. And not only are we going to take it over, we're going to put the best damn player on that day.
That's correct.
You're going to watch. Who the hell plays on Wednesday in the NFL? Well, Maction. Sorry. My apologies.
Yeah.
Action is on Wednesday.
We own Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah.
In December.
That's
No,
November.
actually November.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to play on Wednesday. Thursday, cool. Monday, great. Sunday night, even better. Wednesday,
That's Christmas. NFL now owns that day, too.
That's ridiculous.
Yep.
Well, actually, we might be able to watch more of the NBA since Netflix has the Christmas game. So it might buffer, and you might have to switch over.
I mean, like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
I think that's Jake Paul.
I don't know. I don't know who the hell those two people were.
It could have been anybody.
Anybody.
Yep.
I was pausing. It kept stopping. I don't know what round the real fight is in, but I'm in the 3rd round. I think they're in the 6th round.
Yeah.
Don't go on Twitter to figure it out. Just stay.
I joined in the third round because all I just kept seeing is the buffering. I'm like, oh, it's my Netflix. Oh, no.
No,
That's what Alex said. I remember when they were talking about it, he was saying that he thought his Wi-Fi went out, so he kept trying to restart like the router and everything.
Yeah, going through all that nonsense. I don't think so. All right, what's trending is next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues picked up a 4-1 victory last night in Winnipeg as they defeated the Jets. They'll take on the Calgary Flames tomorrow. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. And, of course, you can listen to that right here on 101 ESPN. The latest college football playoff rankings are out, and we discussed them earlier in the show. If you missed that conversation or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have What's Trending coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
What's Trending Now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, I think we should just carry over what we were just talking about in the break. We all have situations going on with fantasy football as we are heading to the final week of the regular season in fantasy football. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there right now that are also in this situation right now. Why are there so many buys on the same week as the final regular season week of fantasy football? Don't they think about these things?
I guess
they don't
not.
care.
I mean, Carey's over there talking about keeping two ineffective kickers/defenses.
Yeah.
He's got to make moves. He's holding on to Justin Tucker. Why?
Because he's going to bite me in the butt.
No, he's not.
It is.
He's been dreadful.
The other defense I got is the Cardinals. It's either the Ravens or the Cardinals. The Ravens are on a bye. I need a drop.
There's got to be somebody else out there for you next week.
That's the problem. It's the problem. I don't really, whatever. It's difficult. These are the decisions. This is why you get paid the big bucks.
It's Justin.
Anthony.
It's Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
There's your answer. And the Ravens defense.
Then he kicks a 60-yard field goal.
He hasn't made a 50-yard field goal.
Yet, Anthony.
Okay.
Trust your guys.
I would not
Gator
trust.
said I dropped Tucker yesterday.
There you go. See, Gator gets it. He knows.
See, the Ravens being on a bye is brutal.
Okay, but if you have Lamar and you have Zay Flowers and you have Derrick Henry, not if you have Justin Tucker.
Who thought at the beginning of the year that most people would be dropping all of their fab on Isaac Guarendo? I don't even know how to say his name.
Guarendo. Isaac Guarendo.
I had someone in one of my leagues drop 200 fab on this guy. Saved all their money for a situation like this, and on this guy. Never even heard of this guy.
He had a good game a couple months ago.
Well, no, I know that. But I'm talking about heading into the season.
Oh yeah, nobody knew who he was. His parents didn't know who he was.
I think his parents knew. See, I got a text from the 6-1 that you can't drop the Ravens defense. They play the Giants next week. The hell would I do that?
Yeah. Who do the Cardinals play?
Doesn't matter. They ain't playing the Giants.
They play the. Let's see here. They play New England at home. Yeah.
Carey, I think you should drop them.
It's a different league, Marshy.
Oh, is it? Okay, never mind.
Marsh, what's actually trending? Let's get to some.
All right, this is what is trending.
About.
And this is, I don't know if anyone really cares about this at all, but I find this to be interesting, and I want Carey's opinion on it. The Baltimore Ravens, speaking of the Ravens, they are suspending Deontay Johnson for one game for conduct detrimental to the team. In quote, this is from general manager Eric DaCosta, said Deontay's suspension stems from refusing to enter our game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So he didn't want to play. So he's not going to play.
Wow.
But this comes from a guy that got traded to a good team for probably a better opportunity, but now gets an opportunity and doesn't want to play.
What are we
So
doing?
it was probably one of those things where it's the last drive of the game, last series of the game, and they're like, all right, Deontay, go. And he's like, nah, I'm cool.
You're not going to play me all game, and now you're going to throw me out there?
It was probably something like that. I doubt that it was a moment, or maybe it was a moment in the game and it was a run. And he was like, yeah, I'm not blocking. We've seen that before in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, there's a bit of a track record here.
I'm surprised because this is a guy that had a 100-catch season. I think he was a Pro Bowler. If he wasn't, he was close to it. I'm pretty sure he was a Pro Bowler his time in Pittsburgh. And got a decent-sized contract, got paid good money. And then you've seen it go downhill from that point. I don't know why. You saw the moment where in Pittsburgh where he was standing around and the ball was on the ground, not paying attention. Pittsburgh, get this guy out of here, move on. Goes to Carolina. I thought he was going to have some success there, and they said, no, we'll send him to Baltimore, and now he's not even playing. He didn't play one snap. Now we're finding out that he didn't play one snap because he didn't want to play one snap. No matter when it is. But I don't know. It's a weird thing, man.
It doesn't matter. I mean, that's when a player tells you who he is, and believe him.
Yeah.
And this with Deontay Johnson, this is not a good player. He's good. He's a talented player, but we're not talking about somebody that is a winning player. If the Steelers get rid of you, to me that tells you all we need to know. I mean, getting rid of you when you can still contribute.
Yeah.
You know? So,
well,
not good.
Speaking of things that don't matter, the Chiefs winning close games, getting by. Maybe the refs helping them out. You know, who knows? Depends on how you look at things. That doesn't matter, and I'm almost convinced now the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl because this is what Pat Mahomes had to say about the Chiefs winning close games week after week after week. He says it keeps you motivated, which I think can be a good thing in the end. I think sometimes I look back on the year we lost the Super Bowl, and we were very dominant throughout the regular season. And it's just kind of like you get to this point where you start coasting because you're winning games. You're just doing the normal thing. If you look at us last year, though, it didn't go the way we wanted it to during the regular season. I feel like we just continued to work every single week, and we knew we had to get better, and we didn't let the details slip, and we ended up playing our best football at the end of the year. And so that's the hope, is that with all these close finishes, we're getting wins, but it's keeping us hungry so that we can try to continue to get better as the season goes on. There it is. Chiefs win the Super Bowl this year.
There you go.
Is it keeping them hungry?
Certainly.
I don't think that's what that's doing. I think they aren't good enough, and they're allowing bad teams, to stay in games. And you got to block a last-second field goal. You got to have a quarterback not looking, and the center snap the ball, hit him right in the chest, and you fumble it. You got to have a pass interference call.
It's the details.
That's right. Was, in my opinion, a terrible call. You got to have a foot that should be, if it was a size 12 instead of a size 13, you win the game.
No, actually, they had to get the 2-point conversion there. So,
Okay.
Anthony, I'm with you. I think the Chiefs are going to three-peat.
Thanks, Marshy.
All it took was one article to change my mind.
There you go. Good. Welcome aboard to this line of thinking. Carey, we'll reserve a seat for you, buddy.
All right. I'll be there.
All I'm hearing out of you, a lot of woulda, coulda, shouldas.
I won't be there, actually.
Your favorite team's got a loss to the Cowboys in two games where they didn't even score an offensive touchdown.
What have they been doing? What did they do last week?
They throttled the hopeless Bengals.
Okay. The Bengals ain't hopeless. They got a good offense. Good quarterback. Good receivers. Running back. Offensive line.
How's their offense when they play defense?
Defense is
skipping over the defense.
Trey Anderson gets after the quarterback. He was leading the league in sacks. Didn't have any against the Steelers. Well, actually, he had one. It fell on Russell Wilson as he was trying to scramble.
Oh, there you are.
Just tagged him.
Where are we?
Where
All right. Is there enough household names in college football right now in the college football playoff? Probably not, because they're considering keeping Alabama in that. Know what I mean, guys? Not enough household names, so we're going to keep Alabama right in the mix.
Ridiculous.
We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN. The Missouri Athletic Club, perfect spot for workouts, various clubs, whether it's getting the kids involved in certain athletic clubs or just partaking in the great events that they have. Each and every month, there's something new at the Missouri Athletic Club. That's why my wife, Chris, and I, we love to look at the MAC calendar, see what's coming up, especially now around the holidays. There's various things that they already have planned, and you could partake in it. You don't have to worry about, having things for the kids to do constantly, especially when they're off. Holiday breaks, summer breaks. Missouri Athletic Club is great for that and so many other things. It's my MAC. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. So we talked earlier about the College Football Playoff Committee picking Alabama as, I don't know, what are they, 11th or something? Mm-hmm. They're going to be the 12th team in. Are there enough household names to make this upcoming college football entertaining? What about competition? Because there is a separate element here, guys. We can debate throughout the year, and it's kind of fun, to go through the schedules and whether or not a team, quote unquote, deserves it. What's the best loss? What's the worst loss? What's the best one? All that stuff. We can debate that. But when it comes to us as college football fans wanting to be entertained in a couple of weeks, does this do it for you? Or do you need a villain like Alabama, which quite frankly doesn't deserve to be in the playoffs, but might get in anyways, so you can root against them? It's got enough entertainment for you.
I do. I think so. I'm looking at, Oregon, that's a household name. Have become, like, since Chip Kelly days. Like, they're a household name. You got Georgia, you got Texas, you got Penn State, you got Ohio State. Even though Ohio State lost that game, that was a terrible loss, man. That was a terrible loss to a terrible Michigan team that fired their offensive coordinator after they won the game.
That's correct.
That's ridiculous. You got Notre Dame, who can't get a bye because they're not affiliated with a conference, but they can be as high as number 5. Mm-hmm. So, or would it be 5 or 6? 5. So I'm okay with the teams that are in the playoffs right now. And if Clemson wins the ACC tournament, the ACC championship game, I think SMU is still in. I think because they're ranked number 8 right now. I think they're still in. I think they drop a couple of spots, but I think they find themselves in the playoffs. And then you have Alabama on the outside looking in. Alabama is not a good team. They're not a good team. They lost to Vanderbilt, a 6-6 team. They lost to Oklahoma. They scored 3 damn points. Why do the notion that Alabama if Nick Saban was still at Alabama, this is the thing that drives me crazy about SEC people. They conflate SEC and Alabama. They put those two things as synonymous together. There is the SEC, and then there is Alabama. Alabama is its own entity inside of the SEC. It was its own entity. Now they're the SEC. But Alabama was its own thing. It was its own machine. Alabama could have been Notre Dame playing in its own conference or no conference by itself. Alabama could have played every top team in the country, a schedule similar to what Notre Dame tries to do, and they would have been just as good. That's who they are. They are not the
hold on. You think Alabama would be where they are now if they played Notre Dame schedule?
If they were playing Notre Dame schedule?
Yeah.
Yes.
You think they would?
When Nick Saban was there, I don't think it mattered who they played.
Oh, I thought you're talking now.
No, hell no. That's what I'm saying.
Now they're just another SEC team, is what you're saying.
What do we? N after Nick.
Okay.
After Nick.
Gotcha.
During when Nick was there, they were
didn't matter.
Didn't matter
what the schedule was.
After Nick, it's a completely. They are now belong to the SEC.
Okay.
But when Nick Saban was there, it didn't matter. Like they were their own entity.
Gotcha.
This is not the Nick Saban era Alabama team. Wipe them off. Mm-hmm. Take them off. They're not the same. They lost at Vanderbilt, man. You think Nick Saban loses to Vanderbilt?
No.
Ever?
Never, Bob.
No. It was a shock when they lost to Texas A&M with the Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel. People were like, oh, you lost to. Yeah, he's the best player in the country.
It was so big that he became Johnny Football.
Because you beat Nick Saban in Alabama. Mm-hmm. He's the Heisman Trophy winner. Do you know a player on Vanderbilt's team?
Yeah.
Who?
Paloa.
Pago. You don't know.
Pago,
we don't know his name.
Diego
Pagan, I think. I don't know.
Pagan?
No,
Angel Pagan.
Angel. Yeah.
World Series ring and now leading Vandy.
Nope, not him.
Diego Pavla.
Maybe that's it. We don't know though.
Oh, they got the other guy.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm saying. They lost to that team, and then they got beat in Oklahoma to a team that I think has 7 wins, and you scored 3 points. And your quarterback, I don't even think he threw for 100 yards. I think it was like 67 yards, something like that.
That was the one that should have done it for everybody.
So why we still talk about Alabama in the manner in which, again.
Do you know why?
Because
you want to know why?
Do tell.
Do you really want to know?
I'm here for it.
Because the committee's going to put them in.
You can't, no. If Clemson loses, sure, put them in. Mm-hmm. If Clemson wins, SMU is still deserving of a spot. They have 2 losses. They would have 2 losses. Alabama has 3. That's not a team, in my opinion, that deserves to be in the college football playoffs.
Yeah, you're talking too logically right now. And we're going to have to just stop you.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I don't give a fast lane about nothing but the time.
That's right. Roll Tide.
Go Tiger.
in terms of the rankings and potential matchups that we could see, I think it's fascinating.
I'm excited.
Arizona State having to go to Happy Valley in December.
Good luck to those guys.
Tennessee having to go to Columbus. Bama having to go to South Bend, potentially. Indiana going to Georgia. I don't know about that.
I would want to see. I want to see it.
That would be fun.
I want to see it. I want to see a Big Ten SEC matchup. I mean, Tennessee, Ohio State. That's going to be a good matchup. It's going to be cold.
Can we do this real quick? I have no idea about the spreads and all that stuff because they're not out. But let's just do some early picks, shall we? Let's play this out. All right. Totally impromptu. We don't have to give a lot of logic to this. Okay, just gut feel. Arizona State and Penn State.
Penn State.
Tennessee, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Anthony, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll take Tennessee.
Stop it. Move on.
I'll take Tennessee. Alabama and Notre Dame.
Alabama.
I take Notre Dame.
I take Notre Dame. I take Notre Dame.
I don't think Notre Dame is really that good.
Notre Dame's not explosive, but their offensive line is massive. They got a couple of good running backs. One of them's hurt, but their defense is pretty good.
I can't get that national championship out of my mind.
Well, you will when Notre Dame beats Alabama in the playoffs.
Yep.
Indiana, Georgia.
Georgia. I'm excited.
Georgia.
I would be excited. I'm going to be excited about that one because I would.
What's your pick?
I'm good. People think I'm a homer.
Indiana. I'll do it for you. Give me Indiana.
Oh, come on, guys.
Indiana scores 40 points a game unless they're playing Ohio State.
Exactly. And that Ohio State team just lost to Michigan. All right,
Anthony, who would win, Georgia Tech or Indiana?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Very valid point, Marsh. My point exactly.
Yeah, but Georgia and Georgia Tech is a huge rivalry.
I don't care. This is the argument that people give me. They'll say that, and then you'll just say, well, they lost to Michigan. That's a huge rivalry as well.
Yeah, but that Michigan team stinks.
Georgia Tech is
67 yards.
Anthony.
Georgia Tech beat Miami.
And where's Miami? On the outside looking in.
Sure, but I'm saying
Can I get in? Georgia Tech got 7 wins, don't they?
Georgia Tech's got a better win than Indiana.
Let's
not disrespect the rambling wreck from Georgia Tech.
This is the problem that I have with folks. This is my problem.
Why don't you just say it? It's me.
With people like you. Because it ain't just you. It's people like you that think the way that you do.
Georgia Tech's in the ACC. You can't even kill me on the SEC things.
7-5.
Yeah.
And they took Georgia. This is my point. How many players on the Georgia team, percentage-wise, you think going to play in the NFL?
Georgia?
Yeah.
Georgia?
Right
now in the
50, 60.
Sure.
%?
Yeah.
Let's make it lower, 30%. Okay. How many players from Georgia Tech are going to play in the NFL? There is a huge disparity of talent at the collegiate level. Mm-hmm. When you got guys that are going to be playing on Sunday and the other team don't got guys that are going to be playing on Sunday, you should beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, but you don't.
I don't care
kids.
if you No.
It's a rivalry game.
There is the talent. It begins to shrink the further along you go. When you're in high school, it's much greater. College, it's still greater.
Sure.
NFL, it's much more shrink down. But when you got guys that are going to play in the NFL, a bunch of them, on both sides of the field, offense and defense and special teams, you don't go to 8 overtimes with a Georgia Tech team.
Carey, we see upsets all the time. Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame.
That's why they'll lose to Alabama.
Georgia didn't even lose the game.
Notre Dame was asleep. They were like the Dallas Cowboys didn't know that the Packers were playing on that Saturday or Sunday.
Listen to me. Both of you. Indiana's not going between the hedges and beating Georgia.
Well, we'll see.
They're just not.
We'll see.
All right?
Pavia. There you go. Diego Pavia. Thank you.
That's what we said.
We said it.
Diego Pavia. All right.
Indiana.
What?
I'm with him. Indiana.
It's Georgia.
No, it's Georgia. Georgia's going to beat that. Georgia. All right. We have a Gauntlet trophy on the line. Nathan. Me. Next on 101 ESPN.
warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
.402. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Time for the Gauntlet. And for a 4th consecutive show, we have our guy Nathan. What's up, Nathan?
Oh, not much today. Just hanging out.
You're locked in. I can feel it.
Trying to be.
Okay.
We'll see what category we got.
All right, so you have a Gauntlet trophy that is on the line today.
All right.
The only person standing in your way is me. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. All right, Nathan. Good luck to you, kid.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
Nathan, you've been very calm and cool and collected throughout this journey. Any nerves as of yet? You just ready to roll?
Oh, always got a little nerves until I get on the radio. Then we start talking, so we're good.
Game time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
All right, Marshy, spin that wheel.
Now, Marsh, we do have all of our categories today, correct?
We should. I made it apparent that we need all 4.
All right. Well, we'll see what we get today.
And this is going to be a tough task. This is why it's the toughest thing in sports.
It's like
winning 4 rounds of the Gauntlet.
Winning the 4th game is like winning the championship. It's the closeout game. It's the hardest one.
And it would only make sense to go up against Anthony Stalter
In football.
You
know it.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
All right. You know the rules at this point. You answer correctly, you get 2 points. Without the options, you answer correctly. With the options, you get 1 point. If you answer incorrectly, you get 0 points. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
What was the NFC Championship matchup last season?
San Francisco. Oh. San Francisco. Oh, San Francisco, Detroit. Final answer.
Question number 2. In the wild card round last season, the Packers dominated the Cowboys, as Carey just mentioned in the previous segment, putting up how many points in their wild card victory? So how many points did the Packers put up last year against the Cowboys in the wild card round?
Oh, man. Oh.
You said options?
Yeah, options, please.
Options are 34, 42, or 48.
I'm going to say 48, final answer.
Question number 3. Who was the headliner of last year's Super Bowl halftime show?
Sure, final answer.
Question number 4. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan was back in 2019, when which quarterback helped Ohio State put up 56 points in the win?
Wasn't Joe. Oh, man. Give me the options on that one.
Options are Justin Fields, C.J. Stroud, or Dwayne Haskins.
Justin Fields, final answer.
Say that one more time.
Justin Fields, final answer.
Thank you.
All right, we'll get Anthony back in here. I don't know if he's here. He comes. How you feeling, Nathan?
Doing all right, but this is Anthony's wheelhouse.
All right. Well, we'll see how he feels. He was didn't look like it was very silent in there. Were you?
No, we were going over. Ryder and I were going over the 4 nation rosters for hockey.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to guess what the U.S. team would look like.
You getting ready for hockey, huh?
Is it hockey?
No, it's football.
No, it's football.
It is.
Ooh, okay. Let's do this football.
All right. You ready?
I think so.
What was the NFC Championship matchup last season?
The NFC Championship game last year featured the Lions versus the 49ers.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 2. In the wild card round last season, the Packers dominated the Cowboys, putting up how many points in their wild card victory?
Oh, man. I know it was a lot. I'm going to need the options, though, to get specific.
Options are 34, 42, or 48.
Between 42 and 48. Those are the last two, 42 and 48?
Yes.
They scored a lot. Let's go 42. Final answer.
Question number 3. Who was the headliner of last year's Super Bowl halftime show?
Who was the headliner, Carey?
I asked you, sir.
Oh, man. Drawing a blank. I'm going to need the options.
Is it Usher, Rihanna, or The Weeknd?
He was Usher. Usher, final answer.
Question number 4. The last time Ohio State beat Michigan was back in 2019, when which quarterback helped Ohio State put up 56 points in the win?
2019. Let's see here. C.J. Stroud was a rookie last year, so that would have been 2022. 21, he would have been there. Or 23, he was a rookie. 23, 22, so I don't think it was him. You said 2019?
2019.
So it had to be Justin Fields. Fields would have been there. He transferred from Georgia. He was drafted by the Bears in 2021 or 2020. It had to be Fields. Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. I feel like I need points. Justin Fields, final answer.
All right. Let's go to question number 1. What was the NFC Championship matchup last season? Nathan, you said 49ers and Lions. Anthony, you said 49ers and Lions. Correct answer is?
It is the 49ers and the Lions.
Neither of you needed the options. Let's go to the last question. Last time Ohio State beat Michigan back in 2019, which quarterback helped Ohio State put up 56 points in a win? Nathan, you said Justin Fields. Anthony, you said Justin Fields. Correct answer is?
It is Justin Fields.
But Anthony didn't need the options. You are up 4-3. Question number 3. Who was the headliner at last year's Super Bowl halftime show? Nathan, you said Usher. Anthony, you said, you took the option. You said Usher. Correct answer is?
It is Usher.
You both got it correct. But Nathan didn't need the options.
Gotta watch those half times, Anthony.
We got a tie ball game. 5-5. All comes down to this. In the wild card round, the Packers dominated the Cowboys. They didn't even know what time the game was. Putting up how many points in their wild card victory? Anthony, you took the options. You said 42. Nathan, you also took the options. You said 48. If it's 48, Nathan got to win. If it's 42, Anthony, you got the dub. If it's 34, we're going to walk it off.
Oh, boy.
Nathan.
You have chosen wisely.
It was 48. Nathan got you by 1.
Wow. Nice job, Nathan.
Good job, Nathan.
Hey,
you get yourself a Gauntlet trophy.
I can thank my wife for this. She's a Packers fan and made me watch the halftime show.
There you go. There you go. Nice job there. You basically won it off the two wife-related ones. So
right.
Nice job, man. Excellent work. Well, we'll get you a Gauntlet trophy. Congratulations. And I got to head to the penalty box now.
Hey, that's what officials do. So, yeah, you go to the sin bin for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's longer than 2. But, hey, nice job, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Way to go. All right. Man, football lined up. That's a tough one.
That is tough.
I should know Usher. The score, I'm not going to know off the top of my head. I can't remember that. Could you guys?
They scored so I would have. It was one of the 2 higher numbers, but I remember they scored a couple of defensive touchdowns as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't have known. I would have had to take the options on that one. I wouldn't have had a clue.
It was between 42 and 48.
And I might have, I probably, Justin Fields, I might not have gotten to that one. But when I heard the options, I knew it wasn't C.J. Stroud. The options were C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields, and Dwayne Haskins.
Okay, yeah.
And so Dwayne was there in like 2017 or 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never stood a chance, Anthony.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
He did not.
All right, I'll head to the penalty box right now. Nice job to Nathan. Congratulations. Unfortunately, we hand out at least one more trophy here in 2024.
I don't know if we had enough winners this year to really do a Gauntlet playoffs like we did last year. I'll have to go and check just to make sure, but maybe we could do it again. There won't be as many winners as there was last year, though.
Right. Okay. All right. Nice job there, Nathan. Who's got the tougher retool between the 2 local teams here, the Cardinals or the Blues? We'll get in that conversation next on 101 ESPN. With the holidays approaching, if you need to take out a little bit more money to make sure that everybody gets a nice holiday, well, you could do so. Just give my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation a call at 314-324-4440, and they can set you up there. When it comes to refi, when it comes to buying a house, maybe buying your dream home, test Stewie. Because a lot of times people have different unique situations, and you may say to yourself, well, I can't get this home. I can't afford it. I can't do this. Can't do it. Stewie has handled different situations throughout his time here in St. Louis. He loves helping one-on-one ESPN listeners that become clients. He loves helping them out. And if it's a situation where you qualify for the bagel loan, which is borrowing $200,000 or more, we're talking about no lender fees, no closing costs. That's money that you can apply to your offer to make sure that your offer is as best as it can be. Or maybe it's money that you could tuck away to redo your kitchen, or maybe you upgrade your master bathroom when you do get into that dream home. Bottom line is call my guy Stewie. He'll help you out. He'll make sure that you get that loan. He'll make sure the rates are fantastic and that you also can, qualify for various things that you maybe didn't think was even possible. Again, that phone number, 314-324-4440. You can always Google the Bay Loan. It's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation.
NMLS number 226715.
What you want to hear. Sports. This is the Fast Lane. Broadcasting live from the Car Shield Studio on 101 ESPN.
All right, I'm in the penalty box here. Could barely hear.
I forgot what you were doing.
Yeah, I lost. I lost the gauntlet. So I got to be back here. Can't even hear myself. Am I on there?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Just Marsh, just give me the thumbs up, thumbs down if I'm not. I hate this penalty box. All right.
You got to be better.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got to be better. Well, I should know. I should know who the halftime performer was, even though it's never
Usher, baby.
Usually,
Usher,
it's never
baby.
an entertainer that I like. Mm-hmm. So I use that time to stretch the legs, get something to eat, go to the bathroom, things like that.
I mean, Usher is no Dave Matthews Band, so.
Yeah, who would you rather see play in the Super Bowl halftime show?
Creed?
No.
Sting?
Been a while.
Probably not. No, listen, I completely acknowledge that they're trying to appeal to as many people as humanly possible.
Like Nolan Arenado and Dodger Blue?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah. So for me, I don't think I'm ever going to be like, oh, yeah, that's an entertaining Super Bowl. Because I'm not an Usher fan.
What about the Who? Remember when the Who played?
Yeah,
What about Prince?
No.
Prince was now.
That was like
raining.
all time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that was come on, Anthony.
That was my favorite.
Everybody
halftime
loves
show.
Prince.
I hate saying it because it's the LA one, but the one with like
Dr.
Snoop and Dre.
When 50 Cent was hanging upside down.
Yeah, that one was awesome.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, I like that one. Anyways, let's move on. All right. Which retool for the local teams, Blues and Cardinals, which team has to go through the tougher retool? I think this one, CD, is kind of, I don't know if it's obvious, but I think there's one clear team. But I want to get your opinion first. Blues or Cardinals, tougher retool?
Oh, Cardinals.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? They because I think the Blues have already shown that they're going in the right direction. It's awkward for you, but it's awkward for me too.
Yeah, this is a punishment for you too.
Yeah. I'm like talking to myself, and you're behind me. It is. The Blues are headed in the right direction. They added Holloway, they added Broberg. You've seen what those additions, how much they have helped. The Cardinals probably aren't adding players. Like we joked earlier, you're like, the Cardinals made some moves. I was like, well, who'd they bring in? You're like, front office people, front office coaches, strength and conditioning. I think they have further to go because there is more to do.
Yeah.
Like the Cardinals they got to get better. They got to get their younger guys better, up to speed sooner. The Blues younger guys that are now transitioning into veterans won a Stanley Cup, some of them. Like they have that experience. They were around to be a part of that winning culture. The Cardinals young players haven't had a winning culture. Jordan Walker doesn't know what a winning culture looks like just yet. Neither does Mason Wynn. Alec Burleson, not really. You know what I mean? So I think some of those guys they have to figure out they got longer to go because they got to figure out how to win games consistently.
I think it's more of a clear path for the Blues, too. Mm-hmm. You got a situation where you got Doug Armstrong, who's been on the job for a very long time, and now he's getting Alexander Steen up to speed. You've got a head coach in Jim Montgomery, who, for all intents and purposes, right now looks like the guy to lead you through this. And you've got good young talent that's on the way, as well as that good young talent that's already now developed. That has developed, and now it's about production. The Cardinals, I think, have more of a mess to clean up. And we're not talking about a mess in like, hey, tear it down. Now we get to rebuild. We're good. You're trying to do this on the fly without your foundation in place. You do have guys like Jordan Walker, but Jordan Walker has been yo-yoed back and forth between the minors and now the big leagues for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. So you really don't know where he's at heading into a really crucial year for him. Mason Wynn, stud last year. Hopefully there's no regress there. But other than that, do you have good young pitching? Because you know what Sonny Gray is. You know what Eric Fetty is. You know what Miles Michael is. Do you have good young pitching that you can rely on?
Well, they didn't let him pitch enough last year, so we don't know.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. I think there's more of a mess to navigate, and you also need to be more patient too with. And I'm not saying you as the listener, the Cardinals fan base, but just us overall. I'm sorry, the Cardinals overall. They're going to have to be patient because you're going to let this thing play out.
Right.
This is no quick fix. This is not going to free agency and saying we're just going to throw money at the problem like the Phillies did. You're not going to allow for those resources to be available to do that. You're going to do you're going to play the long game, which I think is the smart way to go. Right. But it's going to take longer too, because i.e. that's the long game.
We got a text from the 314. The Blues recognized.
Marsh, is that you?
Yeah, that's me over here, Anthony.
Okay, got it.
Can you see me?
It's hard to. Go ahead.
The 314 says the Blues recognized they were failing and took it head on. The Cards were stubborn and in denial about the mess they were in.
Spot on. I think that's a great text. Spot on. But now, if we are going to move forward, and I completely agree with that text, if we are going to move forward, how do you do it?
Yeah.
You have to go back. You have to go back from a player development standpoint. It's just going to take some time. Now, here's the good news. If Jordan Walker winds up having a Mason Wynn type season like a year ago, you're gonna get fast tracked a little bit. If Lars Nootbaar can take the couple of months where he was an absolute stud and stay healthy and translate that into a full season, well, now you're on the fast track. Brendan Donovan, love what he is. Don't change. You're good there. Wilson Contreras, just stay healthy and hit the damn ball. Great. Alec Burleson did what you do last year, but I think this pitching staff and where this pitching staff is, top to bottom, not just the starters, but now the bullpen, because you're gonna trade Ryan Helsley, and I think you should, but you're gonna have to develop another closer. You're gonna have to develop some high end pitching options. At one point, Giovanni Gallegos was a solid late inning guy.
Yeah.
No longer, obviously, that's done.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to develop. I think there's more to develop if you're the Cardinals than the Blues.
Yeah, and I think it's further away because you got those younger players. I think that it's a 3 to 5 year window you're looking at before it actually 3 years on the quick end. Like that means your young players became closest as possible to stars or are stars, and then you were able to maybe add a bat that you needed without depleting your farm system for that bat, without getting rid of some future potential talent, but going out and getting a guy or a closer because you're right there and it's the trade deadline and you traded your closer a couple years ago now. Right. And now you need a guy to help seal the deal. But like I said, the Blues for me, even with this coaching change, especially now, like they just look like we saw glimpses of it because we were completely surprised with how well Broberg plays, how well Holloway has played. Like that has been outstanding. But the Cardinals, you haven't seen that consistent play, not for a 2-week stretch from some of these younger guys, not for a month and a half stretch. Like, you're going to have to see that and then see it multiple years in a row, and then you'll know that they have arrived to where they need to be.
That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you got a question for us in the Sports Six-Pack, you can send that question into the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-324-4440. That is Stewie's phone number that I just gave out again. Always great for the bag alone, by the way. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. I just gave out Stewie's number, and I caught myself doing it. So there you have it. Give him a call, though. If you got a loan issue, anything like that. Don't send him questions, though.
And if you're on Google,
unless it's about loans,
you can Google the bagel loan.
Google the bagel loan, exactly. Sports Six-Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Blues took down the Winnipeg Jets last night by a final score of 4-1. They'll take on the Calgary Flames tomorrow night, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. If you have missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line. That number is 314-399-9646. So text us in for the Sports Six-Pack. That's next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
Carey, we're back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was finishing my email. I'm sorry. I was finishing up an email. Sorry. I didn't know. I didn't even hear it. I wasn't paying attention.
Sorry, I must have turned the mics on too quickly.
I didn't hear it.
Yeah,
I didn't. I was sorry.
It's on me.
I hit send before email.
Before we get into the Sports Six-Pack, just wanted to let everybody know how much we and I love the Snake Pit and the text line.
You guys and gals are awesome. You guys
are
and
awesome.
gals are awesome.
Yeah, we see you, we hear you. We're just gonna keep the feet moving. That's all. But we hear you and we love you. So thank you.
We love you so much that we want to take your questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And talk about them.
Absolutely, in the Sports Six-Pack right now. Yeah.
Question number 1.
All right, this first one comes from Grant Francis Fan Club. Which was a bigger blunder in their sport? The Oilers letting Broberg and Holloway go? Or I'm sure you know where this is going. Or the Cardinals trading Zach Gallen and Sandy Alcantara?
I think it's got to be Zach Gallen and Sandy Alcantara. You're talking about two number ones.
Well, let's wait. Can we wait? Like, what if the Blues?
No, we got to answer. We have to.
Well,
we got to answer right now.
It could be Broberg and Holloway. What if the Blues win a championship?
It might be.
Win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it might be.
You know?
But you gave up. You gave up a Cy Young Award winner.
I just won't. I won't.
And
I won't.
a number one.
I won't, because they had to. The other two guys were better.
Mm-hmm.
They kept the two best guys. They just picked the wrong ones. They got hurt. Jack Flaherty, Alex Reyes.
What if you had all those guys?
Well, you probably have won a championship by now.
Hence the point.
But who's going to hit the ball in the gap if you got those guys there? Who else is going to climb a wall for your entertainment, Anthony?
Listen.
Huh? Were you not entertained?
Yeah, but not the way I wanted to be.
You were entertained.
Not the way I wanted to be. Frick James chimes in. He goes, Sandy and Gallen dropped the bottom out on our rotation for a decade. The Oilers would be fine for at least a while. I think that's pretty good. I think he's right.
Yeah.
What did Zach Gallen and Sandy Alcantara ever do after they left? Dr. Xander. Snake Pit's on fire today, man.
They were okay.
They're fantastic.
They're just okay. They're fast lane fine.
No, they're not. They're killing it, and you know it.
Question number 2.
You just won a championship, so what are you talking about, huh?
Yeah, with the Dodgers.
Well, say with who?
I could win a championship with the Dodgers playing second base.
From the 314, does your family/friends listen to the show?
Yeah, Anthony's mom just texted
My
him.
mom just texted me. Something
Actually,
about the
what'd you
Gauntlet.
say, Anthony? 2 of my brothers just texted me about it, too.
What did they say?
We're getting a lot of reaction on the Gauntlet today. Yeah.
What? People love the Gauntlet.
Well, they're just upset that you lost, Anthony.
Yeah, they're all just upset. Yep. That's a good question. When my wife Kristen was driving around for her job, I think she listened pretty religiously, but now she's got herself a office job, so I don't think she listens as much. But when she picks up the kids, I think she'll put on the show for the drive home.
My mom listens. One day she was listening. Me and BT were on, and BT and I were trying to figure out a city in Illinois he's like, it's a city, it starts with F. It's in Illinois. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, BT. It's like, it's an F. And so my mom texted me after we went to break. She said, is he talking about Effingham? I said, BT is an Effingham? He said, yeah, Effingham. That's an E.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
That's incredible. Sounds like it starts with an F, but it's an E. Effingham. Yep. But my friends, a lot of them do. Well, I'm listening. Mm-hmm. Neighbor Dave is always listening.
Man, Neighbor Dave.
Neighbor Dave.
I got friends that listen to it. It's cool. I mean, I got friends that my guy Derek Stanley, former Ram, texts me all the time when we're on. He's listening. So
Derek's a good dude. We did a lot of radio together too in the Rams days. Yeah, people are always listening. There's a lot of times what's funny is like when I'll make a bad prediction or something like that, which is quite often. Sometimes I'll be in line dropping the kids off, and I've gotten to know like the teachers and stuff like that, and they'll poke their head in and like, really? The Jets? You picked the Jets? Like that's funny. We appreciate everybody listening.
Of course.
Yeah.
Question number 3.
Hello, fellas.
Hey.
Hello. Great Gauntlet, Anthony.
Thank you.
With the retool question you fellas had. With that being said, who's making the playoffs? Blues this year or Cardinals next year? Who has a better chance? Sincerely, your neighborhood-friendly car guy, Armin.
Okay.
Blues this year.
That's a good question.
If you got to choose, if it's one or the other, it's Blues this year.
I would say Blues this year too. Would you be shocked if the Cardinals made the playoffs?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, you would?
Next year?
Shocked.
Yes.
Really?
I would.
I'd be surprised, but I don't know if I'd be shocked.
I think because they're going to be so young. Like, where is the power coming from? Is it Nolan Gorman? Is he playing every day? Is he swinging and missing, or is he swinging for the fences?
Can I answer that with yes on all of those questions?
Well, Anthony, if you're striking out, you're sitting on the.
They could be the Tigers of 2024. Mm-hmm. You know, I personally think they're going to be a better team.
I do too.
Getting rid of some of these other players, I really do.
Maybe it's just like a false confidence thing, but Marsh, I agree. There's something weird about it. I'm like, I think it's just not doing the same thing that they have done over and over and over again. Yeah. I'm excited by like the newness of it. I know they're not going to go into the offseason and get the equivalent of, no offense, but like Lance Lynn or some veteran with absolutely no ceiling, no upside.
There's still time.
I should bite my tongue on that. By the way, Neighbor Dave chimes in here. He's listening. He goes, Neighbor Dave and Neighbor Donna always listening. Shout out to Neighbor Dave.
Does Neighbor Dave know that I named my fantasy football team after him?
I don't think so. No, now he does. Yeah.
Neighbor Dave, was he around when the Blue Heron?
Oh, yeah, he was.
He witnessed it.
He witnessed it.
He was
Stalter. Smart, too. He just sat. He had a beer. He just goes, Anthony's going to have to get this one. He was smart about it. He's a vet. Neighbor Dave's a veteran.
Oh, okay.
I got Neighbor George next to me, too. Neighbor George doesn't listen, ever. Well, he's always complaining to me that, why don't you give me a shout-out? Like, George, you don't listen.
You just gave him one.
Yeah. Well, the name doesn't hit the same.
Nah, Neighbor Dave.
Neighbor Dave.
Neighbor Dave is a wealth of knowledge, man. His sports knowledge is vast.
It rolls off the tongue.
Mizzou, Blues. It does, absolutely. All right. We're going to continue our Sports Six-Pack, but want to let you know, speaking of the Blues fans, you can join Alex Ferrario this Sunday from 1 to 3 at Verizon, located at 11493 Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. The Verizon in Creve Coeur is one of the many participating area Verizon locations where you could stop by and enter the Verizon Discover NHL Winter Classic sweepstakes now through December 18th. That includes your chance to win 4 tickets plus some spending money to see the Blues play in the Discover NHL Winter Classic. Stop by this Sunday to get entered for that amazing giveaway, and you can also enter to win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Blues home game that Alex will be giving away while he's there. That's this Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. with Alex at the Verizon on Olive Boulevard in Creve Coeur. Get all the details at 101ESPN.com. We will continue our Sports Six-Pack, so keep sending in those questions to the Air Comfort Service text line. Let me give you the right number this time. 314-399-9646. It's the Fast Lane Sports Six-Pack next.
question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Suffering from ED or PE? Your first treatment is free at ParamountMen'sMedical.com.
It's been a fun show today. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've been laughing.
We need to have we should have a camera just going.
No.
Well, it has to be. It can't be on. Yeah, it got to be something else.
We'll do a Fast Lane like after dark.
We gotta have one because
we'll invite everybody.
All of the questions that you ask or want to ask that we can't answer.
Like an unfiltered.
Yeah.
They do the Riz Show live, right? Like we'll do an unfiltered Fast Lane and invite everybody and just kind of have some man sodas and swap some stories.
Yeah.
Tell you guys how we really feel about certain things that we can't bring to the
How
airwaves.
we feel about each other.
Oh, well, that's...
Come on, Jamie. Anthony loves you.
He never remembers my name.
I feel like I'm getting better at it.
For a year now. I'm going into a year.
I've worked with you for 10 years.
At least once every other week. Carey, Jamie, how are you? I'm Carey.
I do that. I'll tell you what. I never understood that with, like, my dad.
With
when
kids.
He used to.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't have brothers and sisters, but he used to.
That's
tough. He used to call me by like his brothers. And Mark, Anthony.
You know your name.
You know your name. I'm like, how does this guy not? How do you? I do that daily.
Yes.
Daily.
I do it with my kids. Yeah.
I call Killian Lincoln all the time. I feel so bad. The kid's like, I'm not Lincoln. But then you like get in it like Lincoln, Madeline, Killian.
You know who I'm talking to.
You know who I'm talking to.
You.
I'm talking to you.
You're like, well, you didn't say the right name.
Yeah. I know I didn't.
Have you seen that commercial? I can't remember which company it is, but it's like, are you becoming your father? And it's like,
oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
We all become our parents.
I think it's like an insurance commercial or something. Maybe the text line can help us out. Been very helpful today.
Yeah, they certainly have. They pointed out some things. Can you read it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were talking about the Fast Lane Live.
Yeah.
Somebody from the 636 says, hey, you could call it the Gridiron Guy.
Come on.
It's pretty good.
I think it was
It
Frick.
didn't even come from the water boy
I think it was
either.
Frick James who said that
man.
in the snake pit. All right, let's get back to the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 4.
All right, Anthony, we talked about maybe swapping stories, and there's a great story. Obviously, an unfortunate event occurred, but we got a question from the 314. Where is the saying, where are we from?
Oh, man.
It's hilarious, and it sounds familiar, but I can't recall.
So I was going to do a show with, I think, Bradford Bruns and our guy, Dan McLaughlin. And it was on like a Friday. I think, Marsh, you were off. Carey,
I wasn't here yet.
You wasn't here yet.
Yeah, I wasn't on.
I think it was last. Well, no, it was early. Wasn't it earlier this year?
It couldn't have been.
No, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't this year.
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Because Mizzou was playing. I remember like the show was going to talk about how Mizzou was struggling with some of these weaker opponents.
Yeah,
it was earlier in the year.
September of
last year.
2023.
It was. So I was driving back from the Missouri Athletic Club, and there was a car that it was just a 2-lane, not a highway, but 2-lane road, and there's a car that started to drift into my lane. So I had somebody, I think, behind me, and there's the curb next to me. There's nowhere for me to go. So the person's tried to drift over, and I kind of got over a little bit, honked the horn while I hit the curb. And when I hit the curb, the tire blew. So, I mean, it sounded like, a bomb went off in the car, because it wasn't the airbag, my airbag, but it was all the airbags on the doors on the passenger side. So now I'm trying to like steer the car as with the tire blown out. there was a woman that was walking. I don't know where she came from, but she had a carriage. Not a carriage, but like a baby's. Yeah, like a baby's stroller.
Yeah, okay.
Called it a carriage like we're in 1940. She had the stroller, and she's pushing the stroller out. So I had to miss her. And I'm like it mattered. I'm in the car, and I'm like, move out of the way. Get out of the way. The car's... Like, I'm screaming. So I avoid her and then get into like this. I think it was right off of Mattis. There's there's like a golf course right there or something. That I pulled in. I pulled in. I'm like, I got to call the insurance company. I called my wife Kristen. It's actually her car. So I called her first. Say, hey, I was in an accident. I'm fine, but this thing, like, I haven't checked out all the damage yet. But this isn't good. So I walk around, tire completely shredded. Like I said, all the passenger airbags all went off. I sit back in the car. It's in September, so it's hot. But I'm like, I shut off the car, whatever. So I'm looking for the insurance. I'm fine. I'm kind of ticked off because this person obviously kept going, but I'm like also rattled because I almost ran over a baby and the woman. So all of a sudden I get this on the window, and I look up, and it's not the same woman, but it's an older woman. She's knocking on the window. I don't even get the window down. She goes, "Where are we?" What Walruskin goes, no golf course on Mattis. I don't know what it was. Sorry. But where are we? I go, what? She goes, where are we? What are you St. Louis? What are you talking about? Oh, I got in an accident. And I look behind me. Her car is behind me now. I get out. She's got like a small scratch on her vehicle. And she goes, I just need to know where we are for the tow truck. I go, ma'am, my car is completely destroyed up here. Oh, where are we? I go, okay. I go, I'm gonna help you out, but let me figure out like where a good spot, because I'm also gonna have to call a tow truck at some point. So I'll figure it out. So I like wound up helping her and whatever. But yeah, that's where it actually comes from. It was the older woman. No hello, no excuse me, no, just flat out knocked on the window and a where are we? So Marsh always liked that story. So Marsh will slide in a where are we from time to time. So it wasn't from a movie or anything like that.
We did get a text, though, saying that it is from the show Lost. The pilot said, where are we?
Oh, that show was, listen to me. I don't know how many years I watched that, how many episodes. You talking about upset?
Oh, I'm with you. Oh, I'm with you on that.
At the end?
Yeah. Yeah, what are we doing?
You
didn't wrap up a damn thing.
Why did you have me watch this show? I've never been so upset with a TV show. In my entire life.
I'm with you.
Game of Thrones season finale.
I haven't seen that.
I can accept you. You do me a favor, you young handsome man.
Watch Lost.
You watch Lost.
You'll get into it.
And
it's interesting.
You watch every season of it. Don't miss a season, an episode. And you tell me if you are upset when you get done.
So you're telling me basically to go waste my time.
I'm telling you, it's a great show. It was a great show.
Very entertaining.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah. I want to read this because real quick before it leaves. It says, leave it to Anthony to make fun of an older woman. You should be ashamed of yourself. Hashtag Anthony Bayless. That's from Anthony's biceps. That's funny. I'm with you, CD. So if you watch, here's the best part too. Do you ever get into an argument with somebody that loved Lost and loved how it wrapped up?
No.
It's the worst.
I don't know anybody that watched it and loved it. Who
CD,
did?
They're out there.
Explain to me what the hell did I watch?
I got in an argument. I was at my buddy's wedding in Orlando, Florida, and this is like his rehearsal dinner, and I'm getting into it with another groomsman because he's like, it's all about the characters and I go, what are you talking about? It's a story. They didn't wrap up half of it.
I don't know. It was ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, man. It's terrible.
If you can explain the ending to me, then I'll listen. I personally was okay with the Lost ending. Didn't love it, but I got it. I didn't. I didn't get it. I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh, man.
What are we doing?
Terrell just gave me a compliment of storytelling. Thank you. And Dunk was outstanding. He was outstanding storyteller. Frick James goes, I get into those arguments with Game of Thrones people. It's painful. Yeah. Like, they didn't wrap up a bunch of storylines along the way. Like, they've just left them open-ended, and they're like, and the creators are like, well, we were just kind of done. We were just kind of done with that. We just let it. But you're wondering, they make such a big deal out of it in certain seasons, and you're like, okay, well, you got to wrap up some of this.
Yeah,
and
it's called foreshadowing.
Right. You think this was going to pay off. It didn't. They're like, well, it's all about the characters. It's always been about the characters. Screw your characters. Wrap up the storylines. That's what we're here for. Anyways.
Thank you.
All right. Let's get to our Blues ticket giveaway, shall we? We have your shot to score a pair of tickets to see your St. Louis Blues take on the New Jersey Devils on December 17th at Enterprise Center. The first 12,000 fans in attendance that night will take home a Jake Neighbors Winter Classic bobblehead courtesy of Pepsi's Zero Sugar. And Marsh has the trivia question for us today.
Yes. Which WHL team did Jake Neighbors play for?
That's correct. If you have the correct answer and you're the 101st texter to 314-399-9646, you can win the free tickets to the Blues versus Devils on December 17th. Find all the ticket details and a bonus chance to register to win at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN Schaefer Door Company mobile app. All right, moving on here. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Cards need to hire an experienced manager, just like the Blues did with Jim Montgomery. And CD's got the right answer for you next. He's currently managing for Cincinnati. It's on 101 ESPN. Jim Montgomery's success so far with the Cardinals, with the Blues, could further idea that the Cardinals might need the right head man when it comes to the manager. Ollie Marmol has really learned, he's kind of grown on the job. He didn't have experience, obviously, as a big league manager when he took over. Cardinals felt they had enough faith in him that, they gave him a contract extension. To me, I don't know if we can compare NHL head coaches to baseball managers. I don't think we can compare managers to any coaches, in fact, Marsh. I've made this point before when it comes to coordinators or NFL head coaches that are play callers or college football coaches that are also play callers. They impact the game because there's a scheme involved, there's play calling, there's flow of game, all of that. When it comes to the manager, there's only so many lineup combinations that you're going to make throughout a year. And there have been studies done on this that suggest the perfect lineup may only impact a handful of games a year. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you can make the argument, well, 1 or 2 games could get you into the playoffs. Certainly. But the point is, making the right lineup, as fun as it is for us or fans, it doesn't have the impact that you think it does. Mm-hmm. Bullpen decisions. We oftentimes grade bullpen decisions solely on if it worked or not. We have no idea who's available. We have no idea who's going through, a rough a situation with their arm. Their arm is dead. They got any fatigue, any of that.
Home issues. Right.
We have no idea. To me, a baseball manager, manages a clubhouse for 162 plus games a year. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They got a bunch of different personalities, oftentimes from various backgrounds, and you have to manage those personalities.
Would you say that managers don't necessarily win baseball games, but they can lose baseball games?
That's a good call. I think managers, and I'll try to answer your question more directly after this. I think managers can win and lose games in the postseason. Mm-hmm. It's still ultimately up to the players whether or not they execute, but I do think managing in the postseason is a completely different beast than over the course of 162 games. If you're consistent, it's like playing blackjack. Mm-hmm. Carey, you brought this point up one time, I think, with blackjack. If you play it consistently, if you whether you hit your 16s or not,
right,
do it consistently, because it all come out in the wash. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. But if you're going back and forth constantly, you don't really know what the true outcome is going to be if that works, that move works for you or not. Right? Managing, if you do it consistently over 162 games, if you do a certain thing a certain way, provided that you do have some success on it, maybe it's like a 55-45, whether or not it's going to work or not. Mm-hmm. Postseason, when there's fewer games, that's different. Then I think your managers do make a huge impact. But I don't know if hiring the right guy, unless it's Joe Madden or Terry Francona or something like that, I don't know if you're going to see a significant change in the Cardinals' play, at least in the regular season.
Why do you think? Excuse me. Why do you think a manager? Why do you think their role matters? Obviously, it's more games, obviously, in the regular season than postseason. I always think it's the players, because if Aaron Judge, Aaron Boone didn't have anything to do with that 7th inning.
Sure.
Aaron Judge dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. Garrett Cole didn't cover first base. Who else made a mistake? It was
Anthony Rizzo. Well, Rizzo kind of froze.
But Cole didn't cover.
Yeah, it was Volpe. Volpe had a tough play to his right where he kind of, but he didn't make the play. It's kind of like when Arenado and Goldschmidt didn't make the plays in that 9th inning against the Phillies. Tough plays, but plays we've seen them make. Right. And ultimately,
it cost you.
It cost him.
Yeah.
Ollie Marmol also stuck with Helsley too long
with a finger injury.
Right. So I do think it's think it's both. It's ultimately up to the players whether or not they execute. Mm-hmm. But there are little minute details throughout the course of a postseason series that do matter from a manager's point.
I think so, but I think at the end of the day, I think it still boils down to, okay, do we hit and run in this situation? All right, I can call it. you got to hit the ball.
You got to execute, right?
Like I can have all of the situational, be prepared situationally for any and everything, but it always boils down to, do my players show up in that moment? I thought we talking about the World Series. I thought the Dodgers showed up more. Obviously, they won than the Yankees did. So I don't know how much we can put on a manager and what they do or don't do. Because I go back to a couple of years ago in 23. Ali, in my opinion, they lost 91 games, but I can't put every one of those games on him. I remember Jordan Hicks airmailing one over the first baseman in Miami. I remember Gallegos coming in, like he was good for a couple of days, and then you put him to close the game, he blows up. Like they were taking turns on who was going to mess up that day.
Right.
But the days before, leading up to it, they were the ones that were having success. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think it's unfair at times to say, well, the manager can make a team better. When we were talking about Jim Montgomery earlier today, the things that managers do or coaches do is what Jim Montgomery did at morning skate yesterday. Stop. Hey, this is not how this is not what we're doing. And then it's your job as the athlete to take the coaching points and utilize them in the game. Like that's how every coach that I know, and me myself being a coach at one point, when your player can take the coaching points from practice or from film session or from whatever we're doing, we're throwing the ball around or we got to walk through in football and use that in the game, that means that's me being a damn good coach. Mm-hmm. It's not whether or not I call this situation and you make all of those things take place in practice, in my opinion. So, and I know, and for me, it's the same with baseball, with the manager. Like, I know that there are in-game decisions, but at the end of the day, I can call something. I can have a plan in place, but if you don't execute it, I'm not a good manager.
Right.
Because you didn't execute it. So that's just it. I don't know how much more Ali has to or he can do. And this year is going to be, I think it's going to be tough because when you got young players make mistakes.
Sure.
Even when you coach them up, they still make mistakes come game time. So we'll see how well prepared they are, but they're younger.
See, I think that Ali's finest job, believe it or not, it's not just because they made the postseason, but I think Ali's finest job was his first year. And the argument has always been, well, he had Albert, he had this, he had that. Yeah, he did. Mm-hmm. He had an aging superstar in Albert. He had Yachty playing his final year, and Yachty was making trips to Puerto Rico. You had, another veteran player in Adam Wainwright. Mm-hmm. You got some young guys. There was actually more to manage, I thought, that year.
It's harder to manage superstars and aging superstars.
Right. You're talking about last year. You're not trying to screw up the last year. And there's reports that Albert was like, hey, you know what? I don't know. I might be done here.
Yeah.
And then the All-Star game kind of revitalized him. And he went on that run. Mm-hmm. I think Ali did a nice job. 2 years ago, everything fell apart because your roster wasn't good enough. Last year, it was kind of a mixed bag. But still the roster wasn't good enough.
Right.
So I think there's a lot more to be told here on Ali. Ultimately, can the Cardinals upgrade at that position? Sure. Yeah. But
it's a text here from Rhythm Maker 618 says Pete Carroll not running the ball. So, and it just made me think, do you think a manager or a coach can lose you a game quicker than they can win you a game? Because I think so. I'll go to just last week.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus. He lost him. He lost him a chance. He lost him an opportunity to win that game.
Yeah. Did he lose the game, though?
He lost his job.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that led to that. I don't know. I don't think there's a right answer to this. A lot of it depends on who's available. I would have loved to see Terry Francona at some point. I highly respect him. I think he would make a difference. I think a calm veteran presence. But that doesn't mean that Ali can't get the job done. I think he, too, just like a lot of the players on the roster, has plenty to prove.
Yeah.
It'll all come out in the wash.
We will see.
All right, Stalter stack up, the fast lane stack up. Top 10 teams in the NFL.
Here we go.
I might surprise you guys. I'm one of them.
Proud of you.
That's next on 101 ESPN.
Oh, Sean McVay is the best playbook. Oh.
Stalter on the fumble.
Oh, my God. Anthony.
You like that? You like that?
You're wrong on this one, Anthony.
Anthony, who cares what you think?
On stacks, on stacks, on stacks.
All right, Stalter Stack Up / Fastlane Stack Up here. This is the top 10 teams in the National Football League following Week 13 in the NFL. Boy, we are cruising in this NFL season, man. Slow down.
It's flying by.
It is. All right, boys. Let's do this.
Number 10.
Broncos. I got the Broncos here. I think they are a top 10 team based on some of these other teams. I did consider the Commanders, but I had bounced them out. They did crush the Titans, but I like this Bo Nix, man. I like the way he's playing. I like that defense, even though they got shredded by Jameis Winston in Cleveland the other day. They also had 2 pick sixes, and they nearly had a third. I like this Broncos team. Well coached, good quarterback, excellent defense. Give me the Broncos at 10.
I got the Chargers at 10. Got a chance to get a big win this weekend versus your Kansas City Chiefs. See how that goes. Chiefs don't like to blow people out, so.
They don't like to lose either.
Well, they did lose one, Anthony.
Yeah, one.
If you know that. They're not undefeated.
Yeah.
I have the Broncos as well.
Yeah, you do.
I really like the way they're playing. I really do, and I like their defense. I think Bo Nix, telling you, they get in the playoffs, and they're playing the Houston Texans. I think they can win that game.
I'm with you on that one, Marshy.
You guys like giving up 500 passing yards? Cool.
Number 9.
One game.
Cool.
Chargers. I got the Chargers 9. Excellent defensive game. Offense stunk in Atlanta. They were given a gift, but they took that gift and they ran with it. We'll see how they do against the Chiefs. They'll probably lose by 3 on Sunday night after holding the lead in the fourth quarter.
I got the Texans here.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's hard for me to put the third best team in the division ahead of a team that's winning their division.
What if it's a crap division?
It's not the NFC South. They're not on my list. None of them.
I'll tell you what. You're poo-pooing the NFC South. I don't think the AFC South is that far away.
Well,
nope.
The NFC South.
I don't think it's as far. I don't think that's that big of a divide between the two.
No.
Just saying.
Texans got 8 wins. Falcons got 6.
So does Tampa.
Yeah, they're average.
Who has 6 in the AFC South?
The Colts?
I think the Colts do.
Damn. Anyways, wrong pick. Go ahead, Marsh.
This could be a wrong pick, too. I have the Baltimore Ravens at 9.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
I can't put them up higher than that.
I hear you.
Like, I want to. I really do. I do think they're a good team.
Anthony doesn't have them on his list.
They continue to prove me otherwise when they continue to shoot themselves in the foot. So, they're my number 9 team. I don't think they'll end at number 9, but this week, they're at 9.
Number 8.
I hear you, Marsh. That's why I got them at 8. What? I got the Ravens at 8. I can't drop them out of the top 10 because they got Lamar, and boy, when they're at their best, they're a freight train. But the Justin Tucker situation's bad. The defense actually played okay, but we have seen that secondary not be good at all. But man, when you look at that offense and you got Lamar and you got Derrick Henry, you got Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, a rejuvenated Mark Andrews, it's hard to drop them out of the top 10. So I got them 8.
I have the Ravens at 8 as well. I was surprised you had them in there, but yeah, I got them at 8.
So I'm flippy floppy with you guys. I have the Chargers at number 8. So. I mean, it really can go either or here, but...
the only reason why I didn't have the Chargers up past the Ravens is because we just saw that matchup 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Ravens beat them, but
there's some 2 weeks ago, Anthony.
But there's some head-to-head here, too. Like, the Ravens crushed the Bills, and I don't have the Bills in front of them. Yeah. Or the Ravens in front of the Bills.
Right.
You know what I mean.
I did.
Yeah, for sure.
Number 7, thank you.
I got the Packers here. You make an argument, maybe a little higher, but... They've done their job recently. Miami going to them on Thursday night. You got to win that game against a Dolphins team that's soft. And they did. 2 weeks ago when San Francisco went to Green Bay with Allen at quarterback, you got to win that game. And they did, handedly. It'll be interesting to see what they do tomorrow night against the Lions. Rematch against the Lions in Detroit, and that Lions team is really banged up. I wouldn't be shocked if Green Bay won outright, but for now, I got the Packers 7.
I got the Packers here as well. Everything you said.
We're on
they are
same page here.
The third best team in their division, but they got a good record.
3 for 3?
3 for 3.
Hey, yeah.
I think the Packers have just been like flying under the radar. I don't think they're great, but I don't think they're bad. Like, they're good. They're solid. They're, like you said, they're doing their job. That's another team, like, I would not want to play them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Especially, if they do what they did to the Cowboys last year.
They got 3 losses. I mean, the Eagles have 2 losses on the season. The Vikings have 2 losses, and the Lions have 1 loss. They got 5 losses amongst the 3 teams that they've lost to. So
yeah,
they are a really good team.
Wait, aren't the Packers 3rd in their division?
That's what I said, 3rd in the division.
Yeah, but you had somebody of the Broncos. You're like, I can't see the 3rd team.
Well, they got 9 wins, Anthony. That's the best division in football.
All right. Take it easy.
You got me.
Number 6.
I was laying down. And then you went all honest. You got me. I was looking, I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't he just do this whole thing?
You got me.
I love the honesty.
I didn't realize it.
That's great. I do that sometimes too. I'm like, oh, shoot. That's right. I'm being hypocritical in this spot. Anyways, I got Marsh's Vikings here at 6. It's not always pretty. Marsh, you know that. But Sam Darnold, he makes the big plays when it matters. Aaron Jones going to give you a fumble at some point, but then he's going to make a big play too. And Justin Jefferson, the best in the business. And that defense continues to play well. Vikings 27, Falcons 10 this weekend.
I got the Vikings here as well.
Woo.
Yeah.
Man. 3 for 3, Marshy?
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
I was really debating on who should I put at 5 and 6, and it was coming down to these 2 teams, but I thought about it, and I have to go with the record. Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers at number 6.
Okay.
So
it's a little high.
Well,
5.
Steelers at 5. Pittsburgh Steelers at 5. I was wrong about Russ.
Yeah, let Russ cook.
I thought it was going to be a bad decision to move on from Justin Fields to put in Russ. Less about how Justin Fields was playing, because I didn't think he was playing remarkably well. But I thought the running ability gave the Steelers a chance to be in games, and the defense and Boswell were excellent. I thought Russ was done. Obviously, he's not. Got at least playing this way this season, he's got enough left in the tank. Defense is nasty. Boswell's best in the game. One of the best in the game. I saw that.
That's crazy.
But give me the Steelers.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Well, he's probably tired. He's kicking all those field goals.
I got the Chiefs here at number 5.
Okay.
Hey, they're 11-1. Anthony, you're right. They're winning games. It ain't pretty. They're barely making it. And I don't know if it's sustainable come playoff time. We'll see. Hey, we can turn it up a notch. No, you can't. Usually you can't.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm not that big of a homer. Not as big as Carey. I have Minnesota at number 5.
Okay.
Number 4.
Gentlemen, I have the Kansas City Chiefs here.
Oh!
For every reason I just said.
But the article.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, gosh.
They're going to win the Super Bowl. But I got to base this off what I'm seeing now.
Oh, you finally came around.
I finally came around. When you need a last-second field goal against the Panthers, and you're not the Bucs, and you need a last-second gaffe by the Raiders, and you allow Aiden O'Connell to throw all over you on your home turf, I got to drop you. Chiefs going to win the Super Bowl, but I got them at 4.
I got the Steelers here at 4. Great game against the Cincinnati Bengals in the division. Going to Cincinnati, Russ throws for 400 yards. Great game. And they got a great defense.
I have Kansas City at number 4 as well, Anthony. Nothing's really changed in my top 4.
Number 3.
I got the Bills at number 3. You too?
Mm-hmm.
They're well balanced.
Yeah.
They to me look like and I made this point in the offseason, they look more like a playoff team. They're built more like a playoff team now. The way they balance it out, it's not all Josh Allen heavy. That was impressive. Even against a banged-up 49ers team, that was impressive in the snow the other night.
So I've the Eagles at number 3.
Okay.
Last week I had Buffalo 2, Philly 3. Like, they both won, so I didn't really want to change that up. I think this is for me, it's a coin flip. I think you can go either way.
I'm with you.
Number 2.
Eagles. Fly, Eagles fly. And that was impressive. I wanted to see what they did in Baltimore. And it didn't start off great. Ravens got a lead, but that Eagles defense is nasty. It's coming together finally. Give me the Eagles here.
Buffalo.
Okay. Number 1.
Lions, I'll say aye.
Aye.
Could you guys see them losing tomorrow night?
Yep.
I can too.
They're dealing with a lot of injuries.
That's the only reason. Got nothing to do with their like being frauds or whatever, but their front seven is like decimated right now. Biggest question of the day next in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take down the Winnipeg Jets last night 4-1. They'll take on the Calgary Flames tomorrow, and you can listen to that one right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 7. Puck drop is at 8. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Schaefer Door Company 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We discussed earlier today about the college football playoff rankings. Perhaps we'll dive into that next with our biggest question of the day. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter. Time for the biggest question of the day. What do you got, Marsh?
All right. We've been talking about the college football playoff rankings as they were announced last night for this previous week. Carey's had some interesting thoughts, and I tend to agree with them. Anthony, you think otherwise. You think Alabama's in. But either way, it's been very entertaining. Could the college football playoff overthrow March Madness in the college basketball national tournament as the best college tournament?
Wow. All right, so let's break this down, right? The college basketball, I think everybody's immediate answer is going to be, well, no, it's college basketball. It's a college basketball tournament. That's going to always be the king of the hill, right? But do we love the entire tournament, or do we love the first 4 days of the tournament? Like, those first 4 days are unbelievable, unmatched.
Nothing else you'd rather do.
Correct.
You can watch sports from like 2 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Oh, you can watch
maybe
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
to like Sunday night.
Some people schedule their surgeries around March Madness.
Absolutely.
Those people are smart.
After that, yeah, you're probably tuning in and you're interested, depending on how your bracket's doing. But if we were to take the whole tournament, first round matchups through the national championship, is college football at least in the picture? Do you is it a landslide win for March Madness?
I think it's going to be exciting.
I think we obviously have to see it play out first.
I think football. I mean, football is the matchups that you're going to end up getting. You're going to see some things it's going to be really fun, and you're going to get 4 games on that Saturday.
Darn right, 4 games.
And then you get another 4 games the following Saturday.
Shut your face.
Of the best teams in the country. Come on, man. One Saturday, from 11 to 9, you're going to see these games? Yeah, sign me up, man. What are we doing? I don't need nothing else to do. I'm going to be start planning my surgeries around this date.
Yep.
And
you got a lot of surgeries coming up.
I do, all the time. It's not good. But.
So we got a text from the 314. Give me a group of 5 run in the college football playoff, and we'll talk.
Boise State. There's your run, and they'll have a bye more than likely.
Is it easier to make a run in college basketball though? I think it is.
I don't know.
You think about some of these mid-major teams, the teams that have been together for a long time. The tournament's kind of set up that way, where you can make a deeper run.
Whereas teamwork outweighs talent.
I just think it's a little difficult because here's what. The conferences like the SEC and the Big Ten are so good and so competitive, and they got all of those recruits. Yeah, Boise's really good. Yes, even a team like Army, not going to get in. Army's a good football team. We saw what happened when they went up against Notre Dame. It wasn't close.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati, that Cincinnati team was really good. that got into the college football playoff.
Desmond Ritter, wasn't it?
That was old Desmond Ritter on
Your
that one.
favorite Atlanta Falcons
Got
quarterback.
smoked by Alabama in the playoffs. I want to see it. I think they should have their opportunity. I would have really liked to see UCF have an opportunity to play in a college football playoff the one year that they declared themselves national champions. I want to see it.
The 8-1,
I don't know. I don't think it'll make a deep run.
The 816 says, without Cinderella stories, it's not possible. Can you truly have a Cinderella team? And, we're talking about group of 5 team. That would essentially be that team.
Yeah.
Can you have a Cinderella team if you're one of the top 12 teams in the nation?
That's a really good question.
Indiana could be a Cinderella team.
What would be more of a Cinderella, Indiana or Boise?
I'd say Indiana.
Well, because Indiana would have to play an extra game.
But I'm just talking about like the team.
Well, think about it. Boise State has been a relevant football program
they have
since the early 2000s. So it's not like we don't know who they are. Yeah. Indiana, we know them as a basketball school.
Yeah,
true.
When have they ever been good at football?
They were good for 1 year.
What year?
When they had Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, they were. And he got hurt.
They were really good.
He got hurt.
Were really good and he got
tore
hurt.
his ACL.
Yeah.
Yeah. They started like 7-0.
They were fun to watch.
They were. Yeah.
I even remember, I'm like, who is this?
Yes. They were really good.
I was a smitten kitten then, Carey.
Yeah.
Now let's go. Let's put that kid in the game, huh?
Give me one more week.
Okay. I don't know. Really interesting. Hypothetical, situational. Tournament probably is the answer, but man, Carey's right. When you get next week and you get these matchups, it's going to be phenomenal.
The 314 says the fact that the first round are going to be played at home on the campus gives a huge leg up for college football playoffs.
That's the fun part.
You
That
don't get
is
that
interesting.
in March
That's new. Yeah, you get the neutral sites. Yeah. I can't wait to watch these teams. If Alabama does go in, I can't wait to watch them go to South Bend or Tennessee to Columbus.
And it's cold, snowing.
Like not Indiana. Who would have to go to Penn State? Arizona State.
Arizona State.
If they win.
Yeah.
Like Arizona State going to Penn State. Happy Valley.
Matters.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be good. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We will wrap up the show. By the way, the Kachuk Bros, as I'm looking at the Snake Pit right now, DLW 1904. The Kachuk brothers have made Team USA. Congratulations there. I think that just came out. So nice job.
Did, yeah.
Not a shock there, but congratulations to the Kachuk brothers, named to the USA team for the Four Nations tournament. Good stuff. All right, we'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN. mentioned the Kachuk brothers being named to Team USA. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to a couple of St. Louis Blues players as well, Colton Parayko and Jordan Binnington. They'll be a part of Team Canada. Now, that was released a little bit early on, but Petro will be a part of that team as well. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid. Canada's loaded, I'll just say that. Nathan McKinnon.
They're pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We also got a text when we were talking about college football from a avid college football fan that said, hey, stop saying that Tennessee can't go to Columbus. It gets cold AF in Tennessee, you know.
It does.
It does. I don't know if it's Columbus cold, but your point is well made. It's not like Arizona State going to Penn State.
Yeah.
There's a difference, though, in cold.
Well, some people have to learn. They have to learn a lesson.
Yeah.
Better than they can be told a lesson. So.
You right.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. All righty. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast. Available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. That's the Schaefer Door Company, 101 ESPN mobile app. Of course, it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Here we go. Bet the board time.
Yes. 2-1-1-0.
Ouch.
Who got zero?
I'm off to a rough start, man.
Oh, no.
Real rough.
Needed about 6 more goals last night.
I had the over in the Vegas-Edmonton game.
Is that what you had?
They scored 1 in the first, and that was it. They're like, we're good. Yeah, off to a rough start.
Got my guy.
Yeah.
And the Sharks won.
They did. Jamie with the nice pick there. I wonder what he was thinking with the old shark bags.
I don't know.
Nice job.
Something.
Yeah. He was locked in.
He was.
Who's up first?
It is me. I have 2 points thanks to Jordan Kyrou, who got way more than 3 shots on goal last night.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to stick with shots on goal and go with William Nylander tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs, over 3.5 shots on goal at -115.
I'm going to take the Miami Heat -3.5 versus Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay. Now,
And
Jamie,
staying with Los Angeles, he likes the Kings over the Stars.
he likes the
on
Kings.
the money line. Yep,
Kings over the Stars.
Yep. They are winners of 4 of the last 5.
There you go.
-104.
All right. I am actually going to go back to the frozen land of pucks and take the Toronto Maple Leafs -150 tonight. Maple Leafs -150.
Let me check and make sure.
That's all right. You can check it.
Because people like to check mine. Okay, just checking.
Does it all add up?
Yep.
There's various sites that you can check.
I got one -146, so you're good.
I'm in the range.
Yep.
Thank you. All right, Marsh, what do we got for criticisms and compliments?
From the 217, why does it feel like I'm hanging out with 4 of my best friends from 2 to 6 every day?
Holy smokes, that's one of the greatest compliments we've ever gotten.
Anyone could have the 3 best friends that anyone could have. Yeah.
Hey, man, that's the environment we want to create. We appreciate it. You guys get it. Bottom line, we love you. Ratings have been very good. We wouldn't have set of ratings without you guys, so thank you. And we're glad you appreciate the show, and just not that you appreciate it, that you get it.
Today was extra fun.
It was. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Shared a few laughs, learned a couple things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
learned.
I feel like we really
sent a couple of emails.
Yeah, we came together with the listeners even more than ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
We banded together like a band of brothers.
Yes.
You guys are awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking earlier today about the Cardinals, and they hired some new faces in the organization, or organization if you're from Canada.
Sure.
We got a text from the Water Boy, and no, it has nothing to do with the Gridiron Guys podcast.
Oh, man, okay.
But the Water Boy said, surprised they didn't hire Ranthony Statler for the Department of Accountability.
Yeah, that is a surprise. He could really help out with some of the aforementioned stats.
Listen, that guy can do it all.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From the 618, I dislike all of you equally. Just kidding, love the show. Got to check the ego.
Yeah,
every now and
good
then.
call. Absolutely.
Keep it
Well,
in
we
check.
do some criticisms.
Yeah.
We do. From the Admiral.
David Robinson?
Yeah.
No. This is supposed to be a TMA listener.
Oh.
Well, also a Fastlane listener, Admiral Pegger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Must be a pirate.
Yeah.
Well played,
I feel the same. The friends, 2-6. I feel the same, but all of my friends are a-holes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sure.
Well,
Yeah.
That could be us, too. Right?
From time to time. From the 314, we were talking about the college football playoff. The 314 says, don't forget high school football championship this weekend. How about a shout out to Festus High School, first championship appearance in ever, Bob.
That's
nice.
awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Those young athletes.
Absolutely. Go get them. That's fantastic.
Nice.
Good.
The Water Boy says, nobody is safe. No one is safe.
Darn right.
You better believe it.
Darn right.
No one is safe. All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day.
Please do.
Third star of the day goes out to Prehab.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get your prehab. Stay ready. You don't got to get ready.
That's right.
You better know that.
The second star of the day goes out to Canadian Wi-Fi.
Yeah, letting us down again.
Yeah.
Kind of sketchy up there.
Yep.
Hey.
That's why Jamie couldn't join again. Canadian Wi-Fi.
You change their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they do.
Password.
First star of the day. We're just going to give it to the snake pit in the text line.
Yeah, well earned.
Keep it simple.
That's right. You guys, you pointed out some things.
Held people accountable.
Nobody's safe.
That,
absolutely. Yes.
What we do.
Appreciate you. One final note. Blues fans, enter the Verizon Discover NHL Winter Classic Sweepstakes. It's your chance to see the St. Louis Blues take on the Chicago Blackhawks on New Year's Eve in the Discover NHL Winter Classic in Chicago. One winner will receive 4 tickets to the game plus a $3,000 gift card. Visit select St. Louis area Verizon locations or go to 101ESPN.com and enter by December 18th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal, U.S. resident of Missouri or Illinois, age 18 years or older to enter. Get full details now at 101ESPN.com.
The Waterboy says extra stars to Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna.
I know Carey would love that.
Anthony said we can get whatever we want.
Yep.
And I asked for Rihanna.
I was talking about retools, rebuilds.
You didn't say that. You said whatever you want.
Yep.
You
chose Rihanna.
That's what I chose.
I said she'll probably reject.
Yeah.
But
and Marcy said we need to revisit.
Yes.
So
and we
are right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
I don't like it.
We've got an instant replay coming up from 6 to 7. We got Blues hockey tomorrow again. Blues at Flames pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 7 o'clock. Got some football this weekend, too. Got the Mountain West Championship, Big 12 Championship, SEC Championship. Some NFL for you, too, over the weekend. So stay locked into 101 ESPN throughout your days and night. For Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Kerry Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.